Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Saturday with Danks and RealBayes for They Think You're Stupid podcast. What's up, Bays? Welcome.
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing today?
Man, I'm fantastic. We have a special guest. We're not going to keep him waiting too long. He's already in the chat. Triggersmart. We wanted to invite him on and discuss really what his opinion is around the Tyler Robinson preliminary hearing, what's been going on with all of that. I know Bays has his opinions. I've got my opinions. We've seen a lot of things. Well, maybe not even really a lot of things in my opinion, but a lot of things to talk about at least. And Triggersmart will definitely be bringing some great insights. So put a target in the chat for your boy Triggersmart. We're going to go ahead and bring him in. What's up, big dog? Welcome on.
Hey, what's going on, man? What's going on, Bays?
Buddy?
We got to get the base on tonight.
Yeah, you got that, boy. Don't make me compete, my man. I got that. I can do it natural. I don't need no roadcaster. I got this. Let's go, son. No,
roadcaster duo.
No. Sounding great. So, what's up, guys? So, what do you think? What's going on? How you feeling, bro? Tell everybody who you are. Triggersmart or Bays, whatever, whoever you guys.
Let Triggersmart take it.
Yeah, I'm Triggersmart. For anyone that doesn't know me, hasn't seen me before, started off doing firearms instruction content and stuff like that. Then when the case went to Charlie Kirk at 30-6, I started testing and just got roped in. So I've been doing pretty much since day one, been looking into the case. And myself and Valhalla VFT, we've been doing the preliminaries and all the trials and everything. So if this does go to trial, then we're the place to be for everyone to go and watch us do the trial stuff. And we bring on panels. You know, we bring on Danks and Bays and other people. Daily Freddo with Cassia. We had on Nissy Social was on. So we're going to keep doing that. And, hopefully it doesn't go to trial. But if it does, then that's where you can find us.
Well, at this point, it looks like it's probably going to go to trial.
Yeah, it looks like they wanted to go to trial. It's crazy. Well, they wanted to go to trial and they wanted to go quickly. That's for sure.
So, Matt, you covered every day the preliminary hearings, you and Nate. And I don't even know how you guys did it. I came on with you guys twice. Those were long days, a lot of information, a lot to take in. In hindsight, what would you say was the biggest surprise, like the thing that shocked you the most throughout those 5 days?
There's two things. So the biggest thing is the DNA. So a lot of people don't know this, but the guy that actually was questioning on the DNA that everyone was falling asleep to because he just kept droning on, he has actually had laws changed based on things that he's figured out or things he's researched with other people. So he's actually very deep and very involved in the DNA research and that kind of stuff and investigations and whether it's actually, efficient and usable. Like if he basically straight up asked her, he's like, what's the chances this DNA could have issues? And she said, there's definitely a chance. And he's like, well, how do you know it's legit? She said, well, I checked it manually. I verified manually. He said, well, the person who was working with you also checked it manually and got different results. And then you switched it from 2 people or 3 people to 2 people. So basically it's like another trust me bro situation. I see this DNA. It looks like to me, with my years of experience, that this DNA is consistent with, not 100% definitive, but consistent with Tyler Robinson. But it's also consistent with Lance Twiggs, as well as maybe 2 or 3 other people. That was the biggest thing, was the DNA. And the way he was ripping it apart, but too slow, and he pissed the judge off. The judge got to the point where he's just like, no, he's like, time's up. I don't want to hear anymore. I'm sure we're going to jump back into that in trial if we go to trial. The other big thing was obviously how, the DNA was on everything, but the screwdriver is another weird thing.
Yes.
Where was it initially? I heard it was in the bushes. Then now they're saying it's up on the roof. And then the guy that finds it on the roof just happened to have his camera go out when he got up there, and he was the only one up there. Did he plant it? Did he bring it? I don't know.
Well, that screwdriver has been headlining right now because, just it's one of the main things, basically the one thing putting Tyler on the roof.
On the roof, yep.
Actually on the roof. And the first time, I guess, so far that I understand, the first time it was mentioned on the roof was when FBI Director Kash Patel came out and said it was on the roof after it had been broadcasted from investigators to broadcasters and media that it was found in the bushes by the rifle.
See, now a question that I have about that.
Followed up with that narrative.
Now, they would have had to have been doing paperwork the day of, right? September 10th?
In theory.
In theory.
Yeah.
So wouldn't they have had to process some sort of paperwork saying where exactly they found what? Like, shouldn't there be some kind of documentation that could either back up or debunk where they're claiming the screwdriver was?
There should be, but who's checking and verifying?
Well, I mean, this is one of the reasons why I have some major issues with our government and our justice system, because I think that we need a little bit more transparency.
That's why they're trying to throw cameras on every single police officer. And
well, that's one thing. I want to bring this up really quick before I forget. So we know Flock is everywhere. They have Flock drones that also read license plates and stuff from up to like 2,000 miles away. They have thermal imaging. Obviously, the helicopters and stuff were up as well. But there's Flock cameras all over Utah, and there's ones I believe between Panguitch.
Once you look,
I don't know if there's any.
Once you look, they're everywhere. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're actually in Panguitch, but they're definitely between Panguitch and Orem. So those Flock cameras would have to have captured his vehicle and or his license plate multiple times along that trip. So where's that information at?
You know where else? You know where else usually has cameras everywhere except for in Utah, which I found like really fascinating. Chick-fil-A. Right? Didn't they say that he was at Chick-fil-A, but that they didn't have any camera footage?
They didn't say they didn't have camera footage. They just didn't show camera footage.
Correct.
See, I found it very fascinating that all this technology, all these high quality cameras that UVU supposedly has, and there has all throughout the whole 5 days, all the evidence that they showed, they did not show a single image, a single clear image of Tyler Robinson's face.
Speaking of, I actually screen recorded that Flock camera part of Baron Coleman's show. I posted it. This was great. I mean, it's a minute and a half. I'll play it. I think it's he did a good job here explaining kind of what makes sense. And ever since then, you can't shake me off of at least this.
But that's not how they get used, apparently. That's not how they get used. Either that or there is no flock footage. In fact, if they go to trial and don't introduce flock footage, I think by now they're so ubiquitous. An affirmative defense just might be, they don't even have me on flock. I couldn't have been me. If it had been me, they'd have brought in the license plate and said he was here at 4:15 a.m. He was here at 4:27 a.m. He was here at 5:13 a.m. He was here at 6:15 a.m. Ladies and gentlemen, you can just track that timeline and it takes him right to Orem, Utah. And he pulls in right at 8:30 when we told you he was in the parking garage. And then we watch him drive down and get a ribeye. And then we watch him drive right back up to Orem to check on the old weapon, Granddaddy's 30-06. Here we have him looping around campus. I mean, my goodness, people. I think it becoming an affirmative defense. If I'm the defense lawyer, I'm raising it. I'm making the judge tell me I can't. I'm going to look at the exhibit list, and if they don't have any flock camera, I'm using that in my opening. You know what you're not going to hear, ladies and gentlemen? You're not going to see flock footage. You're not going to see any. Why? Because he wasn't there. You're going to see grainy underwater footage that may or may not be Bigfoot or space aliens.
I think you guys get the point. I mean, flock, you know how they're talking about flock pretty much every time you see, at least, you know, I don't watch news. I watch YouTube. I have some other internet apps on my TV. But when I do see stuff from Fox News and whatever on YouTube clips, there's a lot of flock stuff going on right now. You guys are seeing that, right? I mean,
yeah, but here's the other side of it, though. So flock would show if he went down to Panguitch, but it would also show if he was in Orem on the campus, going to the spot where they drop off the gun, supposedly, and all this kind of stuff. All that stuff would be captured either way, no matter which way the case goes. That should be captured on flock. And I actually went in and I dug in through a bunch of stuff to see if flock had any malfunctions that day or any downtime of the cameras, and they didn't. There's nothing reported. So they have no excuse to not have that footage.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, like I said, we're in 2026. There is so much technology. There are so many cameras out there. There is no excuse that after 10 months that they don't have a definitive clear photo of this guy's face on the scene.
Thanks for the membership, Joseph. Thanks for the membership weekly. Gifted memberships for Bays from Awakening.
Thank you very much.
Another one as well for Danks. Thank you. Say thank you. Chris Kelly, welcome. Christy, great guest. And as always, love to the mods. Thank you so much. Good to see you, Christy. Keep up the good work, guys. Thank you, Beanzo. And Laughing Disco, LMG Philanthropy. Thanks for the all right, let's run it. So I am Danks. This is RealBayes. This is Triggersmart, and at Triggersmart, HQ? I think it's Triggersmart HQ on X.
Yeah, on X, yeah.
And RealBayes, and I'm Danks. Thanks for Intel. We have all been covering the Tyler Robinson case, the Charlie Kirk assassination, just kind of doing different things, focusing on different perspectives of the entire situation. I was in a different narrative before, and I was just doing commentary on random stuff like Nick Fuentes and like Lionel. I love Lionel. I was doing some commentary on that. But this definitely captured me. The Diddy one was interesting too, but this one really, the actual mechanics of all of the unfolding and the reality of what we are seeing versus how the reality of people are acting versus what they're telling us. It is mind-boggling. It is like the most fantastic story of all time. It's just crazy, and it feels very messy. It feels very psyopy, and it almost feels intentional the way these people are acting. How can you not have family, immediate family, the wife grieving, the friends like acting so strange, the people walking away on the phone, Mikey? I mean, it's just, there's so much. There's thousands and hundreds of thousands of pieces of content and video today of content of people talking about the people at Turning Point USA and the people around Charlie Kirk or who were around. And that leaves us with Tyler Robinson not being able to be identified at all at court, 100% on campus or doing the deed.
And you notice that
it's scary
Lance
that it could
Twiggs,
happen to anyone.
well, you notice Lance Twiggs said that definitely looks like him. That those two definitely look like him. He didn't say that's him.
Yes, I pointed that out to somebody today that was saying that Lance Twiggs ID'd him. I go, no, he didn't ID him. It went from he kind of looks like him, and then a couple seconds later says, oh yeah, those two, they definitely look like him. But the whole thing is, we don't know who else is in that room. We can't tell. Like this there was nobody in there running a court transcript. Like that was who. That was a prosecutor who was asking those questions, correct? So we have no idea who else was in the room with him, if he was under duress, if there was some kind of weirdo deal that was getting put behind the scenes. It's definitely very shady that he had the limited immunity. Sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second.
Limited use immunity.
Yes, he got limited immunity. He didn't have to show up in person for the preliminary hearing to be cross-examined. It's a pre-recorded statement. The pre-recorded statement isn't even consistent with the narrative that they've been pushing for 10 years. He said it definitely looks like him. He also said that he never talked about Charlie Kirk, that they didn't care about politics. Said that he gave him the Dremel. You know what I mean? Like they slept in different rooms. So for anybody to look at that testimony that went on for over 20 minutes and then say, oh yeah, well, he said it looks like him. It's no, there was a lot more there to unpack and a lot of inconsistencies based on everything that they've been saying. And it blows my mind that anybody would be assuming Tyler Robinson's guilt. Thanks. Pull up that you got what you showed me before from Court TV. Look at the titles on some of these videos. It's insane. This is Court TV's YouTube channel. And
it's their website.
The website. Sorry.
What Death Queef says in chat says, and it was his second interview. I want to see the first one. I want to see if he's consistent. I want to know what he said the first time.
Tyler Robinson stopped for Chick-fil-A before killing Charlie Kirk. Detective. Tyler Robinson's lover reveals alleged gunman's behavior.
Wait, which detective? Does it say in the article who the detective was that said that?
It just says detective. Like maybe it's a detective article, or they're trying to say detective.
Yeah, but it should say in the article, right? If they're claiming the detective said that, they should say who it is.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't say though. Detective. Wow, those are the only two times it says detective on this page, bro. That's crazy. No way. Wow. But yeah, I mean, either way, it's not. Yeah, so exactly. So this right here is definitely this is guilty in the court of public opinion. This is what the likes of all of us, Barron talks about, I talk about, we can't. This is conviction.
This is Court TV. Court TV. Tyler Robinson stopped for Chick-fil-A before killing Charlie Kirk. It's saying detective, so that's what the detective said. But that's just as bad. That's just as bad.
No detective mentioned on the website on the whole article.
Yeah, no. If I'm Tyler Robinson's family, I'm suing the hell out of them.
I mean, whole special agent or whatever.
Why aren't his lawyers sending a cease and desist?
Lead investigator. There is that. It does say investigator.
Lead investigator was Hull, right?
Yeah, David Hull.
Yeah, so we do have investigators. So
wait, so if it's a lead investigator for the SBI, right? No, this is
Idaho Bureau of Investigation.
What?
David Hull, who served as a lead investigator for the Idaho Bureau of Investigation, the case, testified on Tuesday during a multi-day preliminary hearing. Hull said that part of the investigation involved looking through. Okay, well, maybe they're mentioning something about investigator Hull, but either way, it's really this. You got to be careful, and there's other ways that they're just framing things, and it's really the sensationalization. But you can see there's a big difference in how we all do our titles and our thumbnails versus what they're trying to do is really charge up the incident as much as they can, even the most boring stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, but that's the culture that we're in right now. Is it's that shock culture, it's that shock media, it's that we need to grab their attention. It's that click through rate and the, you know, the average view duration and the first, you know, keep them watching for whatever, you know. So it's a lot of that. But one thing is, I did a couple live streams and videos talking about, and I know maybe you guys have different opinions on this, but when the court of public opinion is so strong in one direction, the attorneys tend to overcharge for the crime that they actually have in front of them and the evidence that they can use to provide to prove that crime. And a lot of times they botch the case, they botch the actual trial because they overcharged, and because they can't put them in the charges that they qualified the trial for, the case gets, you know, they maybe catch a lesser charge. They usually do multiple charges less to try to catch them on something else, just in case the main one falls. But what do you guys think that the media over sensationalizing? Do you think that this could actually, for the charges that they're bringing forward, capital murder, do you think we have enough evidence at this point to, or even in the future? I mean, what would you have to see? You know, GPS, anybody, Triggersmart, RealBayes?
You talking about to make it go to trial? Are you talking about
No, like to convict? I mean, yeah, of course. Right now we have what we have. So in rehashing, like, we could tell everybody what they have, but what we don't have is evidence of Tyler Robinson taking the shot or even being really much on the campus like they say, you know.
I think
That
the
it's actually
phone,
him.
the phone records, the GPS and all that stuff, and not even GPS, they can triangulate your position just based off of the cell towers. They don't even need GPS. So that's going to be damning if they pull that out and there's a report that shows his phone was at all those different locations. You know, I mean, you still have to technically prove he had the phone on him, but that's going to be damning. Like if they pull that out, and they probably have it, to be honest.
I mean,
Yeah.
we also need to understand, you know, that whatever happened that day, I don't see how Tyler Robinson could have just been a patsy without any involvement. I feel like at this point, you know, because even though the DNA is very subjective, there is still DNA. His weapon was still found there. You know, like there is all this evidence that although it feels manufactured and that there's a lot of inconsistencies, a lot of shadiness, like we still have to assume that he had at least some level of involvement. And I think that you can't really rush to any judgment about whether or not he's innocent or guilty of pulling the trigger until everybody gets cross-examined. Like, you need to have Lance Twiggs on that stand first.
Well,
and
my
foremost.
concern is Lance Twiggs is not even gonna. I think I'm concerned he's gonna disappear, and everything that brought them to trial, they can use if it was brought to trial. I'm pretty sure if they used Lance Twiggs' information, which is basically they're convicting him on, based off of this hearsay interview, all of those things have been brought into evidence. If Lance Twiggs disappears and we never hear from Lance Twiggs again in trial, I believe that they can use that information, all of it, and Lance Twiggs' testimony against Tyler Robinson in the main trial.
Well, that's part of the reason why, if that's true, that's all the more reason why they never should have let a pre-recorded statement come into evidence to begin with.
100%.
And it also blows my mind that there was not a single witness that was actually on the scene that had to testify. None of the security, nobody that asked any questions, not the EMTs that were brushed off. And shout out to American Discourse News. She put out an awesome video today. At some point tonight, we should pull up some of it, where, you know, she says that the second the EMTs have put their gloves on and there's an EMT on the scene, that they're supposed to have, because security was using the word jurisdiction. Like, that's for law enforcement. Security doesn't ever have jurisdiction. But with EMTs, when there's that type of situation, the EMTs are obligated by the state to be able to give assistance. So Brian Harpole did not have any authority to turn away those EMTs. And that should be getting brought up as well. And there's also a lot of protocols that I feel were broken by UVU. I don't understand why Erika Kirk hasn't sued UVU. At first, I was shocked that she didn't fire the whole security team, but then the fact that they're not even looking into the protocols, like Brian Harpole texts Jeff Long about the rooftop. He says he has it covered. And then Officer Bagley, the one who found the holster that didn't make it into evidence, the one whose body camera mysteriously shut off right before he found the screwdriver on the roof, allegedly. He was the one that was positioned by the Hall of Flags, which would have given him the best view of the rooftop of the Losi Center out of everybody that was working that security detail. So there are a lot of people that need to get put on that stand and cross-examined.
Well, here's the thing, though, too. So hearsay that was admitted at the preliminary hearing under Utah special rules generally cannot be used the same way at trial. So, for example, the pre-recorded interview with Twiggs will almost certainly require Twiggs to actually testify at trial, or a proper exception, right? So he's gonna have to be on the stand.
Okay,
and what about his parents?
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna be. I think people are giving the hearsay stuff too much power. I think it's still going to be a regular trial. Like they're going to have to, Lance is going to have to go up. The parents are going to have to go up. Maybe like Chief Long and other people that were in the area, like you said, the people who were on the ground. I doubt the EMTs. I mean, they were there, but what are they going to testify unless they're testifying against the conduct of the security team, which isn't necessarily what the trial's about. The trial's about did Tyler Robinson kill Charlie Kirk, right?
Wonder if the security team saw anything. Maybe they got to get people that were right there. That get those people on the stand. All of them, Mikey, all those people. Everybody that was there. I hope that they do. I'm sure they will. I
wonder if that's why Blake Neff is on the X Spaces trying to say that he's not even a material witness. Can you believe that? Guy was right there, feet away from Charlie when he went down, and he's trying to say he's not a witness. Blows my mind.
That was, that was wild to watch him spin out like that. Shout out to Blake Neff, friend of the show. Well, I don't know, maybe not.
That's one thing Baron brought up earlier today when he was on Diligent Dennison on YouTube. He said he was actually bringing up the point that there's a chance that maybe the defense allegedly could be part of all this. If it is some kind of cover up, there was like a multi-agency cover up, the defense could be part of it, especially considering that one of the defense members is married to one of the Farnsworths, right?
Something like that. Yeah,
that's very strange. I don't understand how if that's true. I had heard that before. I thought that was just a conspiracy theory, but if that is true, then how can a conflict of interest like that be allowed in this type of case? Really?
What do you mean? As far as
what do you mean? What do you mean? Terrell Farnsworth worked for Charlie Kirk. He was on the scene. He tampered with the evidence. And you're going to say one of his relatives is on the defense?
No, yeah, of course. That's ridiculous. I mean, I don't think
that's a giant conflict of interest.
It's a giant conflict, of course. And I looked into this earlier on.
That's almost as bad as Todd Blanche being confirmed for the new AG.
It's confirmed, I think. I'm pretty sure it's confirmed. Allegedly. Don't hold me to that. I could be wrong. But I did look through a couple times. I'm pretty sure that's what I came through too.
And shout out to Stu Peters, who popped up on the live stream the other day. We had a group live stream with Ali Top Files, American Discourse News, Christine Feckety. We had Louisiana Girl on there, Mitch Snow, and Stu Peters popped up. And, he gave us some interesting information that he was contacting people at UVU about the pave job that they did. And he said that he spoke to an individual that works for UVU named Russell Long. I'm still trying to find out if he's related to Jeff Long, but he says that Russell Long, when he was asking him questions about the paving, that he lied to him. I don't remember exactly what he said that he lied about, but it's definitely worth looking into because I was trying to do some digging into this guy and I can't find nothing so far, which I find very odd. Just that, he's worked at UVU for a little while now, but I want to find out if he's related, if Russell and Jeff are related. I think that would be an interesting piece of information.
So Jeff Long's communications revealed some interesting things,
Yeah, because you FOIA'd that, right?
No, that was grandma requested from a news article in Utah, I think, a news organization, media company. But I pulled it, downloaded it. It was like 80 or like 100 pages on a PDF. And in the communications, there's so many different things. I mean, they show that they were paying for these EMS types of services or like police services. They were paying into like an annual or quarterly pot of money, and they're however much they're paying. I don't think it was much. I think it was like $180 or something like that. Again, don't hold me to it, but they could have summoned emergency services or like an extra ambulance and a couple more cops or whatever or something, patrol, because they were paying into it. And somebody actually in their email in the communication thread even mentioned that they had paid it or something like that. This is all in Chief Long's communications in the grandma request. And also I think they said it was 2 senators, but 2 GOP reps showed up the night before at like 10:35 p.m. on September 9th, asking to talk to police about a plan. And they say it's Senators Mike Lee or Curtis Mike Lee and Curtis something, Senator Lee and Senator Curtis, I think it is. But then what's interesting is those senators have ties to Kevin O'Leary's Utah build with MIDA, Utah. But anyways, there's a lot of strange stuff going on. And then also that same day, someone they reached out to the police security at UVU at 2:30 in the afternoon on the 9th to try to get a message to Charlie. It was urgent. That's all that's all that it says in there. So there's some interesting things in there. There's more than that too.
Based on looking up real quick, just as a side note, I think it's Bert that everyone's saying is related to somebody in the Farnsworth family or like married to. But based on searching around, just looking, obviously I don't have like the family tree DNA thing pulled up here, but just doing like a quick search, it says it's not true. But I keep hearing it over and over again. So if someone could definitively, let us know, that'd be very interesting. But I would think if they were in some kind of way, if he had some kind of relation to them, then that may be a conflict of interest. And I'm pretty sure they would have like squashed that pretty quick.
Yeah, no, I heard that months ago, and I'm like, that there's no way that could be true. Like that has to be a conspiracy theory. You know what I mean? It's just too ridiculous.
It might be true. Thanks for the gifted membership, Critter Roadkill. I promise, says Shifty Lincoln for the 5. Puckles, Matt, Rob O'Neill said, hey, doubted the cold bore on target stuff was possible. Can you create the target? Rob O'Neill. Matt.
He's saying he doubted the cold bore shot was possible. 142-yard shot at somebody that probably wasn't even aiming at his neck. I don't know why it wouldn't be possible. 140 yards is not that far. I mean, obviously he's a career killer, but if I go out with any of my rifles and it's 140 yards and I miss that first shot, then that's a really bad day. So I don't see why you couldn't make a cold bore shot that close. Especially, like I said, most likely he was aiming for the torso or the head and fucked up and it hit the neck, if that's what happened.
I mean, one shot to the
guys. Breaking news: Triggersmart just dropped an F-bomb.
No, I fucking didn't.
Don't say that.
Yeah, I love when he comes on our show.
I won't cuss on Triggersmart usually.
I know you don't let me cuss on Triggersmart. Then he come over here. It's like fuck, and fuck.
What's up, BJM? Keep up the good work. Great job, boys. Thank you. And back over at Bayes as well. Memberships, American Discourse. People are partying in the memberships and everything. Thank you. Welcome. Against better judgment. And where was all the blood in the car? If they were stopping the bleeding for 8 minutes. $5.
That's another good question.
$5. Anyone got an answer? $5? $5. $5 for an answer. Where the blood? Well, that's why they removed the base of remember here, let me show you. I think I have it in my downloads. I think it was car. It was let me see. Last week downloads that You know, the Carfax thing, it wasn't a Carfax. It was like what was the damn thing called? If I can remember. It was about the vehicle itself, and they had actually cut out the interior carpet in the back, and the seat is gone. I have a picture of it. And they sold it. It sold at auction for like $62,000.
No, they couldn't have gotten that much for that
Yeah,
car.
100% it did.
No, really?
Yeah.
$62,000?
Yeah, 62,000. Let me see.
What is somebody trying to launder money? That's like that's like
Yeah, hold on. Let me see. It
that's
was
insane. How much is that car brand new?
brand new. It was like
What wasn't it what was it? A Denali?
that's what if I can was it a Yukon?
Actually, maybe if it was one of the upper end models, those go for like decent.
70
the
70 to 100K probably.
let me see.
Yeah, that's why 60 used, especially after all that. I don't know.
I'd have to go. Let me see. When I don't even know now. I didn't realize I downloaded so much stuff. I went to my downloads. I'm like, oh my goodness. But yeah. Anyways, it's interesting for sure. So, and that vehicle is, I think, down in Southern California. That SUV, and it's that's another part of this whole conversation is that why get rid of the vehicle so quickly? Why not keep it? You know, I mentioned one time you get pulled over with a kilo of cocaine in your trunk. They're gonna have they're gonna have that vehicle forever. You're never getting that car back. You know why? And in a murder case, it's actually a felony, to my understanding. A crime of some sort, and I don't know exactly. We could look it up to actually get rid of evidence from a crime scene like that, especially in a murder case like this.
Well, I don't know. I don't know where the car would fit in that. You know, because it was used to. It's not like he was shot in the car. He was transported. He was carried to and transported after the fact. I think that it's much more questionable the fact that, you know, back to Terrell Farnsworth, how, you know, he never had to hand in those actual SD cards, that he sent an edited cut of the footage on Google Drive, and they accepted that. Really?
Yeah.
He got Google to work for them, but not for Candace.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. And that whole story with him giving Candace that footage made no sense too. Because if you remember back when Candace was talking about it, she said that he was afraid, that he thought that he should talk to a lawyer, that he didn't want to do the wrong thing. And then Candace was giving him the reassurance, like, no, it's okay. Don't worry. I'll help you. I got your back. Like, you can give it to me. And then like made it sound like she like comforted him. And then he gave her the footage. But I don't know. Like, how does he not just go to TPUSA? How does he not already talk to a lawyer? You know?
Yeah. Renee says $9.99. Barron said, for actual trial, if Lance is gone, they can't use his testimony. Actual trial, they have to be able to cross-examine. Very good to know.
That is good to know.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean,
but my whole point with that is when he gave Candace that story and then gave her the footage anyway, you mean to tell me that TPUSA or his lawyer didn't give him a green light, that he took that upon himself? And then why would he lie to her and say that he doesn't know how to use Google Drive if that's how he sent it to the feds?
Well, I know it wasn't that he doesn't know.
You know,
it
and it's
wasn't
real.
that he doesn't know how to use Google Drive. It's that he didn't want Google to hack it, hack something. Which is kind of ridiculous.
There's just so many inconsistencies, and it's funny with Candace too, because anytime they think that Candace got something wrong, you know, they're so quick to jump down her throat, and then you see like the whole media assault, everybody on X commenting this, like they're so quick to point it out. But you know, when Candace gets something right, you know, like Charlie Kirk's text messages the day before he died, all of a sudden it's crickets. Nobody wants to talk about that, you know, or
they're slandering her for something.
Yeah, it's just insane. That's why. And I said yesterday, seeing everything, the way that, you know, everything's been handled between the scene itself, how they handled Charlie when he went down, how the investigation has been handled, everything that TPUSA did, that even if Charlie survived, if Charlie Kirk was still here today and that he was just home recovering and just watching all this shit play out, it would have killed him anyway. It probably would have been worse to have to watch Erika and Andrew Colvett and Blake Neff and do everything that they've done.
Yeah, imagine.
Is
Brutal.
Blake's post still up? The one with the coon stuff in it? Is that post still up right now?
The
I don't
conspiracy.
know. I'm on X if you want to. Let me see. I don't know what you're talking about though, so I wouldn't know where to look for.
It was on. Wait, you didn't see that? No, you had to see that. Are you kidding?
I don't think I've seen it.
Blake
Did you
Neff,
see what he posted?
Blake Neff attacked Candace on X and called her a narcissist, and then said that she's pushing conspiracies. She didn't spell it conspiracy. Yes.
No way.
Yes.
Jeez, Lord.
That's why Matt's asking if he left it up. Like he could have edited it. He could have fixed it if it was.
Well, he just posted 3 hours ago that he was at. Here, check this out. You'll appreciate this. At a military simulation convention. I was like, bro, you can't catch a hint right now. Nobody tell Cantifa, but I'm at a military simulation convention right now, 3 hours ago. Yeah.
I mean, isn't that what he did before he got into radio and everything? Wasn't he doing military gaming?
He did some military gaming. He was paid out of a pool of like $14,000. I think they paid him something like that in total. He was simulating for the Marine Corps, doing gaming, advising, I think it was.
Yeah.
What's interesting is usually someone that they bring in from like the gaming community wouldn't have his rank that they positioned him as. But yeah, he did it. It wasn't like a full-time gig to my understanding. But
so based on the pictures, where's he gaming at? Where's he war gaming at for right now?
Oh, I have no idea. We should ask AI that. You want me to?
Yeah.
Isn't that?
Let's ask AI what that is. Wouldn't that be crazy if it was some crazy
Russia.
situation? Let's bust it out here. Let me see.
Are they war gaming if Russia goes into Europe?
Hold on.
So
I got an idea.
I'm gonna look that up. In the meantime, though, what is the strangest part about all of this when it comes to the way, like, you know how I said earlier with Charlie Kirk and the people around him? What is, because for me, it's the way they're acting, but is there anything specific that's always stuck out to either one of you or to both of you that really just, that is almost, that crosses into that this is just unforgivable? I am now, I just don't know about you anymore. Is there anything that sticks out for either one of you on them, or do you not feel that way at all?
Yeah, for me, it's the Erika being involved in Trump's pageants and that kind of stuff before, and then working into Charlie coming under his wing, and then working into having conversations with Charlie about pissing off other people that are now being fully supported by this administration now, working into backing Erika Kirk and TPUSA and pushing her to the forefront, giving her that position on like the Navy, was it the Navy Union or something or whatever that Charlie never even got? She got that award. She goes to that correspondence dinner where that alleged shooting happened. And then during that shooting, they pushed her out, supposedly saying that, she was an emotional asset and they were going to use that video and all those kind of things. It's just too strange that the administration is so close to A, TPUSA, and B, Erika Kirk.
That's a major thing. Also, the Scott Bessent letter. We're not investigating you, like 12 hours after they mailed it out or whatever. Emailed it.
I mean, well, if we're talking about Erika Kirk, let's not forget, what about that picture of her, Tyler Boyer, and Benjamin Netanyahu's son that was supposedly taken a year before Tyler Boyer introduced Erika Kirk to Erika to Charlie?
Wouldn't that be crazy if they just throw us into this weird time loop, this timeline that we just forever talk about Charlie Kirk assassination and that's it? This whole, it's like, it's funny because the reason why I say it is every time I talk about all kinds of geopolitical topics, but it always somehow ends up coming back to Charlie Kirk and like the way the country is now, and his inflection has impressed this country, his death, in a way that's changed everything, man. Have you guys seen a change?
Well,
You know,
it's also because, you know, Charlie being in media and, you know, being involved in political media, he had some sort of you know, connection or tie to so many different people, whether directly or indirectly, that anytime you're covering something else, you know, you're only a couple of degrees of separation away at most to get back to Charlie. So there's always a reason to bring it up.
yeah, I hear you. Charlie Kirk had an impact, bro. Made an impact, you know, and I would say a lot of people not only kind of came together, like all of us, you know, we probably wouldn't be talking otherwise, you know, but also people getting more close to God and Christ and religion and just being better people in general. I sense a more communal experience in general. You know, that's my experience, but it feels like the world has definitely gotten a little bit closer together, realizing it's kind of us versus them situation. I wanted to show.
I got something on that image that you showed before of the Blake Neff thing. That's a board game. That's Paths of Glory: The First World War.
Mm.
It's saying that it's a deluxe edition mounted board using traditional classic map artwork. Yeah, so he's playing a game. So he's once again trolling the trolls, just like the video that they put out, the AI video of Charlie, where he was saying that he would have wanted Erika to take over.
Yeah, this is Erika shortly after. I think maybe not. Let's see. What is this?
Talk to me about this part of the conspiracies that are out there, this disturbing part that people are trying to guess where Charlie is.
Can I have one thing?
Oh,
Can I have one thing? Can my children have
What is she
one
reading
thing?
off of? Play that again. Play that again.
Everything was public.
She's looking to the right of that lady.
About
Which
one
I
this
think she's saying.
part of the conspiracies that
You know what's crazy?
you
She
think she's
filmed this.
looking over here, faster,
Yeah, she's probably reading
Or-
a teleprompter.
or to this side,
She's looking to her right.
to her right. Yeah,
And she-
pastor.
And she's the other one's looking the other way too.
This one's looking straight out, like she's dazed.
are out there.
She's got her in the grips spiritually. No, I'm kidding.
You know what's funny?
Disturbing
Look at
part.
this. Hold on, before you play it. Look at this. Now, you know, they're at Fox. It's a white couch. You got a white and red in the background, a Christmas tree, and they got Erika dressed up in, you know, the red blazer and the white outfit, right? Well, after she filmed this, she went to the CBS town hall meeting with Barry Weiss to record that. Those were recorded the same day, and then she's wearing all black, and you know, like when you watch it days apart, it's one thing, but then when you realize that they were filmed the same day and that she did 5 of these tapings over the course of 3 days, she also did Sean Hannity and 2 others too. It just makes it all feel even faker. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, she went on the tour, you know, multiple times very quickly after. I mean, it's like, I don't know if she ever did grieve, you know. This is her grieving process, was this whole thing. What this was right then.
I think she's grieving now, just not for the loss of Charlie, but for, you know, the death of her reputation.
The company and everything else.
that people are trying to guess where Charlie is.
Can I have one thing? Can I
to the right.
have one thing?
Looks
Can
to the
my
right.
children
Yeah,
have
yeah.
one thing?
Looks to the right.
Everything was public.
Yeah,
So-
she's going back and forth.
We will be building the most beautiful memorial for my husband at Turning Point USA, and it will be for the world to see, and it will be spectacular, and it will have
World is a
Okay.
stage. There she's looking right at that thing you're talking about.
basically museum style for our Charlie, for my Charlie. But can I have one thing? Can my babies have one thing where we hold it sacred, where my husband is laid to rest,
100% she's
where
reading
I
off of
don't have
something.
to be worried
Yeah.
about some
That's crazy.
secular revolutionary coming and destroying my husband's grave while my daughter is sitting there praying?
Oof,
One thing,
she nailed that
this
line.
is my husband. Yes, he was Charlie Kirk to the world, and I know so many people love my husband, and I am grateful for that. But this is my husband,
Ooh,
and I want to be able to have one thing left that is sacred to our family, to my in-laws, to my babies, and to my parents. One thing.
She's like, why didn't that work? I nailed. You know how many times she's watched that shit? I
You know,
guarantee you, she's watched
instead
that
of
so
her
many
instead of
times.
her going on saying how she, can she have one thing 15,000 times in a row on Fox News, she should be thinking about the one thing that her kids probably want, and that's their mother at home.
Yeah, that's sad, bro.
And then she goes on there, like at that point, I don't know if you guys remember, that was filmed like first, second week of December. She's sitting there trying to act like all the conspiracy theories is that Charlie, where's Charlie buried? Like people are gonna go and find the grave. And meanwhile, no, at that point, people were talking about the hand signals, people were starting to talk about the mic theory. Like there was a million different things that the conspiracy theorists were talking about. And then she goes on Fox News, acting like people want to go and dig up his grave, which is pitching a false narrative to the masses. And then she went on to say that TPUSA, that they're her family and to leave them alone. And, conspiracy theorists need to stop and all this crap. And it just blows my mind because, her kids are her family. Charlie was her family. Everybody at TPUSA, those are people that work for her. Like the security team, they had one job, and that was keep Charlie Kirk alive. And they failed. And they didn't get fired. Dan Flood actually got a raise for some very, very odd reason.
Yeah, that's all very, very sus.
Well,
Because
there's all
like,
the assignments, the position changes, them taking the FBI person out, putting a new one in, the judge being newer. Like even Hall, was it a Hole? Didn't Hole get reassigned somewhere else? Like everyone that was involved during that time period either got pulled out and replaced, or the ones that were there during that time period have quit and left. Like across the board. That's not normal.
Yeah, the sheriff resigned. A lot.
they don't have the footage of Tyler Robinson turning himself in. So
the entire case is built around Lance Twiggs. The entire case.
So then if that's the case, and we go back to if he disappears, then what, the case gets thrown out? What if they build the whole case on Lance Twiggs and he disappears?
Imagine the pressure right now on Judge Graff.
Oh, forget about it.
He has President Trump's son sitting in court with them. He has all these military intelligence podcasters hanging out, allegedly. I guess they're military intelligence or something. But he has all these people, all these powerful people, including the president's son, sitting in there with her.
Well, and Jack Posobiec, wasn't he intelligence?
Yeah.
Wasn't he? He was naval intelligence, right? Just like Bob Woodward. How funny is that?
But I mean, the fact that they're all there, putting pressure on him. And then you have Erika Kirk, supposedly she was crying and staring at him and that kind of stuff, laying on the emotional piece. Then you have the lawyer of Erika going up there with all his dramatics and shit, if you're that judge and he's a newer judge, there's no way I can see him not making this go to trial and not trying as hard as he can to make sure that Tyler is guilty, because he has so much pressure on him. He's basically screwed if he doesn't go through.
Oh yeah, if Tyler gets off, his career is over. If Tyler gets the death penalty, he might have a Supreme Court seat waiting for him one day. And listen, I'm half kidding, but it could be true. Yes, what do you guys think?
You remember? I want to share something. Sorry, when Triggersmart mentioned that, I remembered this moment.
And by the way, Judge Graff, to this point, I think he's done a fantastic job. I really do. I really do. I think that he's done a very good job.
The lawyer.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal so far. But yeah, like what you said about the pressure that he's under, and make no mistake, politics are definitely going to play a role in this trial. Like it's impossible not to.
Look at this face right here. I captured a good one.
No, there's so many like that. There's so many like that.
But no, he and I will say, if you think about his positioning, it's not just all that. It's whoever he reports to and whoever they report to. So it's not just the president and his family in the courtroom, he's got it from the pipeline coming in from up top his command, so there's a lot of pressure, and there's also probably a lot of pressure to convict Tyler Robinson for this and convict him to death, and that's a scary place to be.
I say that because
But this is the attorney of Erika Kirk and the family of Charlie Kirk, and
the attorney of Erika Kirk is also the attorney of Alex Acosta, which I enjoy pointing that one out.
He was, that's crazy.
Of Big E Files fame.
Yes.
Yeah.
I say that because time is of the essence, not because I don't want to hear what you have to say.
I understand, but there was a lot that was just said that's just not
That's
true.
such a clown.
So let me put this in the spot where we need to be. I understand that there's opinions, but I have to keep this to the probable cause. I don't want this to go to a back and forth about issues that lie outside of probable cause. And I realize statements are made, and as the victim's representative attorney, you want to address it. So I will hear you, but we need to be brief. So if you can be succinct, I definitely want to hear what you have to say.
Your Honor, I am almost always brief, I promise you.
There's something about that I love and can't stand at the same time. I don't know what it is. I'm almost always brief. I promise you. It's like a very
the family's not seen this video. It hasn't. It doesn't have access to the evidence the state has. The state is the state, and Mrs. Kirk and the family have their representatives. There's a completely distortion of reality.
The thing is that he's arguing to see the footage and all of that stuff. And it's like
the 4K footage.
I think that the footage, the footage that they didn't want us to see, that we didn't see, that Jack Posobiec and all of them are saying is 4K footage. Yeah, exactly. They wanted to fight to see that. Now, they probably are privy to that already. Like, why are they acting? Why do you guys think that the guy made such a big deal about this footage that they've already seen? Why do you think? Anyone?
I was letting Triggersmart go first.
Trigger Daddy.
I'm searching for something right now. You have to come back to me.
Pause him.
So thanks. You're asking why they want the footage to be seen so bad?
Yeah, why are they acting like it's footage that they've never seen before?
Because they want to push out the narrative, clearly. Like, that was the plan. Why do you think Benny Johnson showed up that day? Yeah, you got Benny Johnson, you got Brandon fucking Tatum, that douchebag.
They can come out.
You got Jack Posobiec.
We saw it. You didn't. This is
exactly.
What it showed.
And shout out for Brandy for debunking them and calling them out on their lies and exposing them.
Big ups to Brandy. And was she with anybody else?
Billy.
Billy. Bill. All three of them were there that day?
I believe so, yeah.
Shout out to all three of them.
Yeah, see, I mean, thankfully we had foot soldiers on the ground to be able to prove these bunk people out here trying to spread lies.
And you have no idea what they went through to get in there. These girls were out there the night before camping on concrete. They were laying on the concrete with like blankets and pillows and stuff all through the night. The random people around them and all that kind of stuff, and possibly in danger or whatever, just to get a spot out of like the 14 that were available each day. I think they got in 2 days, 2 of the 5 days. Wow,
that's crazy. I saw Kelly on camera. I was doing a live stream. She was at the entry where I think AP was streaming. I'm going to read a couple of these super chats, say what's up to the audience here. Fern's mom, Dill Denizen, showed footage of the guy in lab coat being led away with cop holding firearm right after Charlie Kirk fell. This was before Tyler Robinson had been found. Are you familiar with this? Lab coat guy? It sounds familiar, yeah.
Let's see. Show footage of the guy in lab coat being led away.
Oh, that was what was his name?
4 TRs.
Started with the last name started with a K. Is that the guy that went back to the scene that night and he got picked up for trespassing and he had a firearm on him? Is that what he's talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, Project Constitution reported on that.
What the heck? Really?
Yeah.
Jeez. So much weird stuff.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 patsies that were supposedly unrelated.
That's crazy. Shifty Lincoln, $20. Thank you. A tiny amount of Tyler's DNA was highly degraded. on the weapon. Twig's DNA was fresh in larger amounts. Case closed. Twigs is an asset that grabbed Tyler's weapon off the shelf. Ooh,
Well, that's
yeah,
the going theory, or
that's
one
what
of
it
them.
seems like to me. I'm with that, man. I mean, if either that, yeah, I mean, I don't think Twigs did it either. Do you guys think that Twigs is like pawning it off on Robinson? I don't think so. I think
I don't
that
think either of those kids were capable of it, but I mean, you never know.
What do you think, Matt?
I think they're definitely capable. I think anyone's
Oh, yeah.
capable. I've seen some stuff. So
Yeah,
you
I
can't
think-
rule out anybody. The
Ta-
kindest
taking the shot, but all the planning, because you got to remember, it's not just about getting the weapon on the roof and taking the shot.
Yeah, but
You got to
remember,
look at the
if you look
timeline.
at
He had
Turkey
about a
Tom,
minute to get into position, and then he's got to get off of the roof, stash the gun, get away, and then turn himself in. I mean, listen, it's possible, but without any type of training or assistance as
No.
a lone shooter, I don't think so.
You're talking about two 4.0 students that had plans drawn out in the Turkey Tom files. If you look through there, you can see they hand drew, or someone hand drew, like the positions and where they were gonna like shoot from, and like the courtyard and stuff like that. That's all in the Turkey Tom files. So that the planning was there for a long period of time. This wasn't like an impromptu type of situation. So I don't know if you've seen that stuff, but you should definitely go check it out.
I haven't seen that. But
Go check it
wait,
out.
how long could it have been? How long in advance could they have planned it? Because they only booked that one a couple weeks in advance.
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, I think.
So in theory they would have had to have started planning as soon as the word got out that they were going to be at UVU. So let me ask you, let's just say Tyler Robinson did it, right? And he's sketching things out for days. You don't think that his lover that
They're saying-
lives with him would have seen it?
Sketching, not Tyler.
Okay, that's my point. That's my point. What I was saying, I wasn't saying that not capable of taking the shot, but capable of what they're saying within the narrative. That one person doing it as a lone shooter. Planning, taking the shot, and execution, getting away. Like I don't buy it.
Yeah, but these guys are coming out now saying that they don't think it's just a lone shooter. You got certain people like I can't remember exactly who it was, but someone on that side, like the Jack Posobics and all them, and even Andrew Colvin is starting to like question, like, I wonder if Lance Twiggs may have been involved in some kind of way. Remember?
Isn't that funny? Because
I got more
all these same people were attacking Candace Owens when Candace Owens was asking the questions about Lance Twiggs back in the very beginning, when they should have been asking the questions about Lance Twiggs. Now all of a sudden that the evidence comes out at the preliminary hearing, and we can all see, the whole world could see that what they've been saying for the past 10 months makes zero fucking sense. Now all of a sudden they got questions about Lance Twiggs. How convenient.
I think people saw Lance Twiggs and were like, holy shit. Like Silence of the Lambs, like it puts the lotion on its skin. You know, they're just like, holy shit, this dude's fucked.
Triggersmart, were you watching my live when we were talking about that?
No.
No? Oh, I was making all sorts of jokes. We were saying that he sounded like Buffalo Bill, and that he looked like someone that would have been walking into Columbine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be trying to be careful with my words there.
Mhm.
That not so much as a gay leftist trans furry. And I was saying it puts the note under the keyboard.
Yeah, I mean,
We had a couple of them.
Just real quick in chat. Sorry. Just real quick
No,
in
you're
chat.
good.
Can you guys put a 1 if you think Lance is a Fed, and put a 2 if you think he's not? I see a lot of people mentioning this in the chat. Put a 1 if you think that Lance is a Fed or some kind of asset, and put a 2 if you think he's just a furry boyfriend.
Yeah, just asset fed, anything that you're saying he
Lots of ones.
You think he was an asset before Tyler Robinson, before all of this? I mean, just planned it and put him involved, made him involved, Interesting. Yeah. I think at the very least, he's trying to get himself a deal because he was involved, and he's putting it on Tyler Robinson at the very least. a willing participant. What are you laughing at?
It puts the note under the keyboard.
Bro, I have the picture of the burned note. Isn't that crazy? Here, let me see. Where's it at? I'll find it. Yeah, I mean, it's just so wild that we here, check this out.
I know all this time that they're trying to like promote Lance Twiggs to be this like feminine, gay, trans, leftist, furry, and then all of a sudden you see him, you hear him, and it's like freaking Michael Myers in the Halloween remake by Rob Zombie. Like, the guy is scary and creepy as fuck. He's just a creepy dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
we're at a point right now where they're gonna tell us that on that letter they can clearly read Tyler Robinson confessing to the murder. And then
yo, yeah, for real.
On there,
if they didn't show this publicly, and it came out behind the scenes, you'd had that douchebag Brandon Tatum say, like faking the tears, like, I can't believe it. Erika had to read it. We saw the note, everybody. We saw it with our own two eyes. We know it was him. It was his handwriting.
Yeah, it was his handwriting. He wrote it. He signed it.
But here's the thing that messes with me about this note. If you're gonna burn a note, you're gonna burn the whole thing till it's gone.
Yeah, 100%.
What, are you stomping it out or something?
Why is it partially burnt?
Yeah, huh?
And how did Lance Twiggs know that text message that he got was scheduled?
I've asked that many times. Yeah.
It's just weird. And then like the back and forth, when you see that there's no like timestamp in between, that you got all these back and forth messages, that means that it was like one after the other. It's just, everything is just so weird. It's so weird. Like listen, I don't care. Like even the DNA, partial, impartial, degraded, not degraded. Like, listen, you take all that, like, forget it. Give him the DNA. Even if
that's it, they got him. Lock him up, ladies and gentlemen.
It's always a side view. It's always the back of the head. It's like you never get like a clear image of the face.
I mean,
we don't know who that is.
Just real quick, I want to address this question. It's come up a couple times in chat. Dave C says, will Triggersmart test fire an engraved 30-06 round? And will an engraved 30-06 round or any round cause like issues when you fire? So basically, if you're engraving something, one of these casings, and it's not going all the way through and not damaging the strength of it, it'll fire fine. It'll fire regular. So you can do that all day long, because sometimes you'll see it like if you keep reloading and unloading ammo when you're training, you'll scratch it up and that kind of stuff while you're doing that, and it doesn't affect it at all. So I wouldn't expect it to cause any issues unless he actually breached the inner edge of that casing, which is very unlikely with what we saw. But it looks like it's just kind of on the surface. It's kind of superficial.
Yeah, but now I gotta check out that Turkey Tom thing, because if there's sketches,
it's
something that was planned.
I guarantee you, if you go through, there's a lot.
Makes it all
there's
weird.
a lot of content. There's a lot of content
it's
there.
A lot, yeah.
I guarantee all next week is going to be Bays doing Turkey Tom.
I mean, well, at least these two for sure. Like this was, I think, the first one he put out, which was
his car.
It was 10 months ago. Like September 23rd, so 13 days.
How do I not know who Turkey Tom is?
This individual, the roommate, may have been transitioning. Did that correlate with what you saw? Yeah, definitely. I remember them talking
He
about
sounds gayer than freaking Lance Twiggs.
About 2 weeks ago, I would say.
And they were kissing.
Yeah.
A lot of people think Turkey Tom is like
just coming out.
While there was some initial pushback to the narrative that Tyler was in a relationship with this roommate of his, this testimony from his neighbor went a long way to solidify this in the public.
So essentially, Turkey Tom received a boatload of information about Lance Twiggs, introducing Lance Twiggs, and the Discord side of things, and like the communications and the people involved and the furries and all that. And so this is like a whole video discussing.
On the morning of September 10th, 2025, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson decided he wouldn't be attending his electrical apprenticeship program at Dixie Technical College. At 8:23, he walked to his gray Dodge Challenger, and a little while later, he drove off to Utah Valley University. 3 hours after that, at 11:49, he exited his car wearing a different set of clothes.
That's him. That's for sure him.
Yeah, right.
A cap, dark sunglasses, and visibly limping toward the parking lot adjacent to the UVU campus. He walked up the parking lot stairs, headed to the Low C Center, and
what
then
if they were just filming and like sometimes they were limping, sometimes they weren't, and they mixed up the footage? Like the limping footage was supposed to be after he jumped off the roof. You know what I mean? What if it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
supposed
What
to
if what if what if
What
he's
if he
what if
messed
he's
it up?
limping with one foot and then all of a sudden you see from a different camera angle he starts limping with the other foot? Does that mean that the gun went in a different pant leg? Or does that mean somebody's full of shit?
Maybe he shit himself and that's why he's walking like that.
But yeah, Barron actually made a video on this. It was
This whole thing. Well, here's the thing. Like, if you believe the Turkey Tom, well, not if you believe it. If you look into the Turkey Tom stuff, it makes it look 100% like Lance is the one that is losing his mind, that has a lot of issues, that does drugs and all these other things, right?
See, that actually sounds very believable.
But-
Like
yeah.
any picture that I've seen of Tyler Robinson, like from before all this, he seems like a happy kid. You know, he's playing his Magic, his D&D,
Hey
his
guys,
video
Turkey Tom
games.
is back.
sorry.
I don't know. He just doesn't seem like this hateful, troubled guy that they keep talking about. Like, honestly, from everything that I saw, we haven't even seen any evidence that him and Lance were really gay. No, that's not meant to be a hot take. I'm being
you're-
totally serious
No,
right now.
I know you're right. I mean, I don't need to. I mean, I was gonna play it maybe a little bit. This is of Turkey Tom. He kind of here. I'll give a quick intro for what Barron shows.
I mean, this was one of the most high-profile public figures to be taken down in public in decades. And the opposition's fierce.
This
And I would
their
add
intro.
that fierce opposition, we are going to get right into some trends searches very quickly, and we're going to apply buckets, boatloads of common sense to try to figure out why would someone approach Turkey Tom to try to convince a guy with 1.5 million followers that this absolutely is consistent with Tyler's and Lance's relationship, and that Tyler almost assuredly did this. Who would have the motivation to do that? Because that's what his whole video seems to be about to me. So let's jump in.
Then I received a message. This message was from a third party who was close to both of them and remained in contact for 6 years up until the attack took place. They reached out to me, providing never before seen information on the lead up to what happened.
That's the thing, is the never before seen information.
Tom makes a video and somebody reaches out to him and says, "Hey, I got some additional information for you. I've got some never before seen Discord footage. I've got some archives that you just absolutely would never believe."
Some
That's the kind
archives.
of thing that would lead somebody to be I don't know, intrigued at the very least, right? Hey, I want to go back at 50 seconds in that video. At 50 seconds in that video, there was a username that popped up. I'm going to pull it back up in just a second. At 50 seconds, there was a username that popped up. It was Lancelotto. I want you to watch what I'm about to do, because this is the type of research. People have knocked what I've been doing, but this is the type of research that people should be doing in order to determine if the person they're talking to is a dadgum fed. Now, look, that's Lancelotto. Lancelot. That's SLANC, whatever. That's his Discord name there. Now, watch. What happens when we look him up? What happens when we look him up? This is the type of stuff that's at least concerning to me. This is the District of Columbia right here. Hey, we at least have something going on, right? We at least have something going on. This guy's Discord name or his TikTok name has shown up for some reason there. Now, is that definitive? No. And that's
so
kind
what
of
he's
been the
showing
thing.
is all this stuff that came out about Lance Twiggs came from this dude, Turkey Tom. It's crazy.
But I've done my best to
Where
provide
did
you all
Turkey
with
Tom get it? And why would the person who
source.
had this information go to Turkey Tom? Like whenever I see something like that, whenever someone gets this like groundbreaking evidence or this like witness or like this insider that was there for 13 years, like I always have to ask myself, like, why would they go to that specific person?
This guy right here, he does videos on all kinds of stuff. Adrian Broner does that too.
I never heard of Turkey Tom. I'm sure he's a great guy.
Tree. Me neither. I mean, he just
Wait,
does
Oliver
all
Tree. Oh shit.
He's talking about Oliver Tree. Does like clavicular ruining his life. David, disturbing fantasy, paper trail, TikToker, hiding in a seat, whatever, just drama, like weird flicks, like YouTube binge content. Like, so yeah, asking why Turkey Tom is a viable question.
Interesting. Matt, what do you think?
I think that like one of the examples you said this Turkey Tom stuff is unreliable because it's just a single archive and it just came from Turkey Tom. Well, you could say the same thing about like the Mike theory from John Bray. It's coming from a single source. It came out of nowhere and it's just a dump of information, right? So you can't discount it just for that reason. But it is weird. The timing is weird. The fact that there is so much information, like there's pictures of like hand, like draw, like you have to watch, you have to look at it, Bays. Like there's like a website that was dedicated to it that shows all the different letters, the drawings, like the breakdowns, and like the areas, like there's like nests of like gross, nasty, like 5-6 days worth of food wrappers and shit where like Lance supposedly hung out when he was like losing his mind and having episodes and stuff. I mean, it goes deep. So if it is Fed slop, I think they did a very good job. They deserve an applause.
Yeah, I mean, they slopped it up. They slopped it up for sure. But it's interesting. Why go to him? Probably because you could just get a bunch of normie eyeballs on some narrative and start planting this story. It's actually brilliant. It's hijacking the social media culture and planting information. What is it? Disinfo or malinfo or whatever, or just info. What's up, Amy? With the $10 super is my favorite, boys. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing out. Shifty. Tempered glass with white inscriptions all over the floor of the SUV. I'm not even a Candace Owens fan. And she already solved the case regarding the weapon. Shattered, bro, Mike. Yeah, I went there. Ooh, with the mic drop. Shifty. Getting shifty in the supers. Angela, keep bringing the facts. Danks, much appreciated. Will do. Thank you. MSJ Podcast. $20. Thank you so much. It is illegal to dispose of a vehicle involved in a crime, such as one that transported a murder victim. Before law enforcement has completed their investigation, a vehicle may be considered evidence in the case. Love you guys. Yeah, I've seen that until completed their investigation. I don't know. I mean, what if the crime... So if you let the vehicle go, the crime goes... Say there's a mistrial, or say they prove that Tyler's innocent. Then you got to reopen the case, and then what do you do with the vehicle? Like usually they keep the vehicle, the evidence, all the way through the trial. You don't investigate a car in a murder trial and then you just get rid of it, because you're going to have to go back to it over and over and over and over again and over again and over again. You'd have detectives spending weeks and nights overnight at that vehicle. We've seen it on the show episodes. That's how it is. You would imagine like doing that, that for a job. I would be literally up and down that vehicle. I wouldn't even know how to tell you, if that was my job. And don't just get rid of it because, 33 hours, we solved it. Everybody pack up, go home. Case closed. It's crazy, man.
Case closed.
It's crazy. Thanks. How come you seem so different, more reserved since you spoke with Tyler Boyer? You say he seems nice when all accounts say he's the snake who pulls the strings. Worried he'll sue you. Love you. No, I'm not worried he'll sue me. I don't know if I seem more reserved. I think it might be your perspective. I just, I think also as I've grown, I realize I have more influence with the words I speak. So I try to be careful. I'm not trying to slander anybody or do anything incorrectly or anything. And so I'm just trying to be accurate, just doing my thing. Facts over feelings, Thank you for the super chat. Matt Miller, $5. I believe John Coleman would be an interesting person to interview. He identified 6 drones at the event. I agree. He's been making content again. He's back in the building, huh? What do you got going on over there, Triggersmart? He's all into something over there.
This is something I've been looking at for a long time, is how reliable are these Google Trends searches? Because I saw obviously Barron, that's basically what blew up his channel, was the Google's Trend stuff. He was, shouted out by other people. And then like Anna Escobar, she's been using that lately for a lot of stuff too. There was in the Savannah Guthrie case or Nancy Guthrie case, some news station used it as well. They referenced it. So I've been searching this for a long time. Like, how reliable is it? How repeatable is it? And all those all those things. And based on everything I can find, it says it's not reliable at all. So that's why, like, I'm still digging into it even more right now, because I'm just curious. Like, I think Barron even says something about some of the stuff. Like, he's like, you know, I think he said it like maybe last week or something. He's like, I'm gonna see if I can recreate, you know, maybe something Anna Escobar found or something. See if I can recreate that, to see if I can reproduce that search or whatever. But yeah, so I mean, what's your guys' thoughts on it? Have you guys actually tried to search any of that stuff or recreate anything or like dig deeper into it?
Yeah,
Well,
I have. Go ahead though first. Chase.
I was gonna say, when I first started using Google Trends, it freaked me the hell out because I didn't realize that you have to like put it in parentheses, or else like it'll like you don't know what'll come up. Yeah, no, if you do, you have to, because if you
There's certain ways to input your search.
yes, there's different ways to input it, and if you don't do it the right way, then if you have like a phrase or 2 words, that it'll give you all the searches for them individually, and it'll throw off the graph.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
mean,
just a question I have that's just out there. Like, it's not against Anna or Barron or anyone. I just want to know, like, is it reliable as a search tool if it's always changing, always using different data sets, and if it gives like a 0 to 100 rating or something, even if you do find something, it has a rating. So like, how reliable is it? And it was saying that the less that thing is searched in an area, the more likely it is to pop up, but still not necessarily even be accurate.
Well, not just that, but now that
confusing.
Google has all these advancements with AI, and that they, you know, they're changing the way that they filter and distribute information. Like Google, it used to just be like a database where you just search and whatever's there, you know, like it shows you. But now it kind of leans, it kind of directs you. Like, how do you know when you're using Google Trends with all this AI that it's not just giving you the information that it wants to give you, whether it's accurate or not?
And what about VPNs? Do VPNs, like, if I do a search right now for Bayes and I VPN through France, is it going to say that someone in France looked you up?
That's a good point too.
You know what I mean? So like, I don't know.
Oh yeah, probably, for sure. I mean, you're running your VPN network. Yeah, I mean, I think it's somewhat accurate. I think it's more accurate than a lie detecting test, but maybe less accurate than 100% truth, you know. But I don't know. I'm not a specialist on that, and I'm not going to pretend to be.
Well, yeah. I think Barron said many times it's just a tool. Like, it's not the end all be all. And Escobar, I'm not sure if she's ever said that, but I know she uses it a lot lately. So I was just curious. I'm like, if it's that useful, then maybe I should start using it. But if it's like, you know, 50-50, like it maybe not be correct, then I don't want to start messing with it.
We could look it up. Let me see. Yeah, so I mean, I'm going to look it up here. Google search is a reliable method of tracking instances on the internet when trying to see who's involved in a, to see search people in locations.
So this is what it says here real quick before you read that. It says Google Trends may reflect what Google Trends displayed when the queries were run, but they do not reliably establish that the claim searches actually occurred or that anyone connected to the assassination performed them. They were classified as unverified anomalies, no evidence of foreknowledge or coordination. The widely circulated claims include a pre-event interest, such as, you know, Tyler James Robinson, Losi Center, Mauser 98, and all that stuff. But it says the issue is Google states that explicitly for low volume or virtually non-existent searches, its privacy system introduces statistical noise that can produce random looking spikes. So in other words, if you search for something in a certain area, it doesn't already have a lot of data there, it might spike just because it's, you know, just because there's noise. Like it might not be legit at all. So basically you can have confirmation bias and find whatever you want if you search for it.
It cannot tell you who searched, whether it was one person refreshing or 1,000 people, or whether the spike was organic versus driven by a broadcast, a tweet, or a news cycle that mentioned the term. What it can legitimately support public interest in a term rose in a given window, and that's the rise cluster in a certain DMAs relative to others. So, let me see. Yeah, I mean, it says okay. So basically, to my result, it said no. Google Trends is not a location of searcher tool in the way it gets used on this in this narrative, and you already found the reason yourself. What it actually measures: relative, not absolute. Trend normalizes to a 0 to 100 index scaled against the peak in the window you selected. A 100 in a low volume metro can be a handful of queries. It never tells you how many people searched. Geography is IP or inferred IP, not physical location. The location is derived from IP, account settings, device signals, VPNs, corporate egress, mobile, carrier routing, cloud IP blocks, all misattribute. A base or campus with centralized egress can look like the metro, its exit. Yeah, all this technical jargon, but it doesn't seem legit. The asymmetric risk, a trend spike attributed to a military installation tied to a named individual in a window around an assassination, is exactly the claim that draws a demand letter. Whoa, shit. The geographic inference is the weak joint. Keep the spike, drop the address. All right, Claude. Thank you.
Well, and this is like the final verdict. So I took information from Grok and ChatGPT and cross-fed them into each other, because they're both full of shit. So I made them kind of like fight against each other. So basically, it's saying the final verdict. Barron may have genuinely received those Google Trends displays. It says plausible. He may have actually pulled it up, and it may show them what he shared. The screenshots prove actual searches occurred. It says no. The numbers like 94, 100 do not represent the number of searches. Trends identities searched from particular IP addresses. You can't tell that from Google Trends. It says that's false. Trends identifies the person who searched. False. A DC or Israel result proves government or foreign involvement. Obviously, it says unsupported. The findings prove advanced knowledge of the assassination. No, they can be retained. So as I'm reading this, I'm like, you have to remember who ons these, right? You have to remember who owns and operates these AI tools. So am I getting a non-biased, set of information? But we both saw the same thing though. But I think what they're doing is they're reading the documents from Google Trends that basically says that it's not a reliable thing, right?
Yo, that would be a sick way to prank somebody.
What?
You set up a VPN and you pretend that you're from Benihana's and you just like search a bunch of people. And then all of a sudden you call them up. It's like people especially as content creators. Like, yo, I was looking. You won't believe it.
Bro, you're being and fucking.
Yeah, so it says this is like the final version, right?
I'm such a troll.
The most accurate description. Barron found unusual, low volume Google Trends outputs that may have been genuine platform results, but Google's own documentation says precisely this kind of isolated spike may be artificial statistical noise and must not be interpreted as evidence of actual or individual searches. So that would go for.
Well, ask it what if there's a cluster, same location.
What do you define as a cluster?
Like a group of people and places. Some show up, some don't, but it's definitely a cluster around date, time, location, and people.
According to this, that would still be statistical noise.
Somebody in the chat is saying that I'm not going to word it the way they did because they weren't that nice, but they said that advertisers spend billions based on the data from Google Trends, which tells them that they believe that is evidence that it's real.
Yeah, people spend a lot,
and that is a very good point. I think they could have said it a little nicer, but
it's true. I mean, I worked in a long time ago. I sold Google first page placement to sell real estate agent search trends. Like these are
that's different though. That's different because what you're saying is the not so nice person in chat. I didn't see the message, but I'm sure
it's a dumbass. That's all.
No, well, I'm just saying. I mean, say it to my face, bitch.
I just gave him the business in the chat.
No, seriously though. What it's saying is, that's a different situation, right? Like you throw a comment out there and think it's smart, but you have to think about it from this point of view. If you're looking at for just Tyler Robinson and it will say Uzbekistan, that's one search for one person. That's a statistical noise. That's one anomaly. If you're talking about, I'm Meta, and I want to get a whole region of people, and I want to see all the shit that they're going to buy in that region. How many people buy Sony TVs and stuff? There's thousands or millions of data points for them to use.
There's a lot more data points that's going to paint a more full picture. Yeah.
It's not even the same thing. But thanks for your comment.
You had a little street in your voice when you were giving that response.
No, I didn't.
You don't normally.
I did not.
You sounded like you put a little something into that.
No.
A little spin on that curveball. You don't get to see that side of Trigger on his show. Yeah, I love when Triggersmart comes on. It's the best.
Candace bowed car. It had no blood except smears. What do you mean? I don't know about that.
Bowed?
Thank you for super chat.
Was it showed car? Maybe.
Maybe. Pierce, $6.99 Canadian. If anyone wants a good laugh, go watch Bay's reaction listening to Mitch Snow talk about calling Candace regarding the tap bug in his house. Yeah, we should.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, we played that one a couple times.
Yeah, that was good.
Shout out to Mitch Snow. I talked to him again yesterday.
Shout out.
Interesting fellow.
Yeah, you've been doing some interesting shows lately with some characters, some peoples.
Yeah. I got some other interesting ones in the pipeline.
Ooh. Get the pipe ready. Light it up. Little T. Hey, coming soon. Blake loves playing with army men until the racism comes out. Yeah, till China shows up. Renee loves pink. $9.99. More detailed footage on Instagram via Charlie Kirk on the ground with security. More detailed footage. Yeah. There's a lot of clips on IG that have shown a lot of stuff. Thank you, Renee. Another Renee, same Renee, I think, maybe. Blake's comment is still up, and the next day, Andrew posts saying it should be okay to use the N-word since it is in rap songs. What? I mean,
freedom of speech.
Crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not.
That's a joke.
I'm not black, so I said this morning on my.
Wait, you're not black? Danks isn't black?
No. Since
you're more street than I am.
I mean, I am just I'm brown, you know.
He's a dankster.
I'm brown, yeah. I'm brown. I'm a dankster. One of a kind, one and only. I'm kind of black.
But as far as all that goes, though, I mean, the N-word is just a word, right?
Yeah.
It's
not like we're out here being like, "Yo, go pick my cotton, you N-word."
That's just, why would you say that?
Like nobody is saying that.
Someone clip that and ruin Dank's career right now.
No,
no.
Don't say that. That's terrible.
Yeah, and tell him that he told Triggersmart to go pick cotton, because that's what you just did. You just said Triggersmart pick cotton right now. Clip that. Someone clip that.
Yeah, I was about to say that's definitely getting clipped.
Hey, I could clip yours back because you just said clip cotton right now.
Yeah, but I'm mixed, so it doesn't matter.
All right. Well, I'm kind of I am black, actually. My mom's half sister's black.
Good enough.
Yeah, close enough.
And they're from England. I don't feel the need to be like, yo, I'm like 1/20th black.
You're on welfare. That's close enough.
Is that even legal in England right now? I don't know. Their whole race laws are so screwed up.
Yeah, no, we got it good right now. They're giving us extra land, places.
Trigger, please.
We can smoke inside. You know, white people can't.
See, this is how Saturdays are supposed to be. This is what the Saturday show was meant to be. It was
like
during
the
week. Yeah, during the week we're supposed to be doing, serious professionals doing real research, real journalistic work, and then you get to Saturdays and you just have fun. You sit back, you talk a lot of shit, you crack some jokes, maybe something a little controversial here and there,
Bust out the pita bread and baba ganoush, some tea.
What?
Some tea.
Is it against YouTube rules and all that stuff to have a drink while you're on stream?
No,
I mean you're just drinking water and soda and stuff, right? I drink coffee all the time. You're good.
Yo, all I know is I'm not drinking on stream anymore. I was streaming with Kelly once, and I was drinking whiskey, and oh man, did I get myself in trouble? I talked all sorts of shit. I know you guys know what I'm talking about.
I got a bottle of scotch right behind me.
Yeah, no, those days are over. Those days are over.
Why you want to have a drink? Here, I'm gonna read some super chats. Charlie's death is now the greatest litmus test. MSJ podcast.
No. The greatest litmus test is, was, and forever will be COVID.
I look to see if I have a glass, but I don't.
It's in the running, though. I'll give you that.
Bella Blue, Texas, $4.99. First of all, love all three of you together and alone. Ooh, alone and together. Bays
trying to get you alone, Bays.
But love your voice, insights, and passion.
Wait, you had your doubts about me? What? Maybe she watched the stream when I was drinking the whiskey.
AUTGW. What? I don't know what that is. Love to y'all from Texas. Thank you.
Sounds
Thank you.
racist.
Bays, you just got your you got approved, it looks like. A Barnes, $10. Good to see you. It's the surveillance state versus us, and I don't know you. Here's $10.
Oh, someone's saying share my supers. Thanks. Are you reading my supers or just?
I'm just
skipping
reading them. I'm just reading them.
Just reading them. All right, I gotta start paying
Just
attention.
going through. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna be here for 4 hours.
What is it? The paper clips? Yo,
I
Tex
just read 'em
doesn't
all.
get it. He's just trying.
No. I don't play that. I don't play that. You guys will be fiddling.
I know when I'm streaming with Nate, I gotta like pay
Who's
attention.
this?
It's like, oh shit, they're
Whose
reading
one
supers.
is this? Oh, it's not mine. Oh yeah, here. This is mine. It's mine. No.
Well, no. I'm usually on top of them. Triggersmart's on top of them. Nate's on top of them. I'm not gonna say names about who's not.
I'm crushing it over here, you guys. That's why I keep it. This is
I know. I
professional
have such a small following when I was streaming with Nate and Triggersmart, and then like you or Jesse would have to like dip out early. I'm like, oh, don't worry, I'll read there. It's like this way I can like
Yeah,
pretend
I
I'm at
super
some
chat.
read. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm just sitting there for 2 hours.
Well, I must
But,
say, both of you guys haven't only been here for a shorter period of time. You guys have built up some pretty good channels and definitely have some good audiences. So I'm proud of you guys, everything you've accomplished up to this point.
Thank you, buddy. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks, man. We do have a great audience. Obviously, they're the ones that make it available for us to have the reach we do, and I'm grateful, man. We have great community inside of our Club Watcher Discord, and we're talking all day and laughing and sharing stories and the chat. When you come in the chat here on YouTube, it's like a family, and we just it's a great time, and we're all in everybody else's chat, and it's just
It really is too. And like originally I was like, yeah, you know what? I'll stream like 2 or 3 times a week. And now I stream almost every day. I told my girl I would take tomorrow off, Shabbat Shalom, be with the family. But I'm streaming like 6 nights a week. But sometimes I just do the members only. Like if I'm gonna watch something, I'll just go on the members only and just like, because it's like, why not watch it there? I have like a little watch party, shoot the shit. I'll troll people. Last night I almost got myself into some trouble. I had to like take the stream down. I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna leave this one up. This one might piss somebody off. You know. ADN, yo, shout out to American Discourse News. She is my official partner in crime when it comes to the trolling. Like I feel guilty sometimes. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to send her a link tonight. And then she'll be in the chat like, yo, where's my link? I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's do this.
well, a
Yeah,
lot of people have been crushing it.
Yeah, if you guys are interested in the Lance Twig stuff, like separate from the Turkey Tom stuff that we're not sure, like is it intelligence or something else? We don't know. But I don't give a Dom. She is a moderator for multiple different channels, including Barron's. But she's been covering that stuff. She has a smaller channel. She's just getting started, but she goes deep. So if you want to get into the Lance,
somebody told me she went deep into the Lance Twig.
Bro,
yeah,
she
she had one
goes
tonight
I gotta
too.
check that out.
So if you're done with this, make sure you guys go check it out. But she's doing some deep research over there.
Yeah, she be crushing. She'll go 4 hours on like a drawing. You know what I mean? Like if you want to go into detail, definitely. Stacy Noble, why is she so angry most times? Such an odd display of grief. Talking about Erika, bro, she is like even the first. I mean, I just can't believe that she's had so much exposure in the media at all. This much, it's just crazy.
Well, what do you mean? They were trying to prop her up to be VP.
Bro.
You know what I wish got a lot of exposure in the media? Her alleged Freemason ties. I think that someone needs to dig into that, because I was told. Now, I've talked to a couple people about this behind the scenes, and they were trying to say that the ring that was described to me that she was wearing was the replica of the Medal of Freedom that she got, for Charlie from Trump. But I was told by people that were close to her in the courtroom that no, that is not the ring they saw. That it had colors. That it was an Eastern Star, which is, a sign that she has some very strong Freemason ties.
Interesting.
So I think that is something that definitely needs, especially when you consider her parents and who they are, and their connections with the military-industrial complex. I don't know. I think there's still a lot of rocks, a lot of stones that have yet to be unturned.
I agree wholeheartedly.
You mean turned over?
Yeah, that's what I meant. I wasn't going to correct
Because we don't want to leave them. We don't want to leave them turned down. We want to pick them up and look underneath them.
Yeah.
I know what you meant.
Thank you.
Hey,
I screw up my words all the time. You
Canada.
usually they correct me in the chat.
If you like the Freemasonry in depth, Didi got a podcast.
He's the best.
Yeah, he is super deep into that stuff.
Yo, Didi was supposed to call me recently too. He never did. I got to get in touch with him.
A Barnes says fake news backed by fake Trump. Trump had to create an enemy to combat fake news. Trump decided to combat fake news with fake news. Who can you trust?
Speaking of Trump and fake news, he just said he's going to do a fourth term. Did you see that? He had a speech. He said I already won 3 times because remember the one was stolen.
Yeah,
and then he said, I'm going to do a 4th term. And he put his hat on and he said, it says Trump 2028.
I saw. Yeah, I know. It's kind of crazy when I showed people. Let me see.
I wouldn't even be mad at Trump doing another term as long as he doesn't throw us all in those detention centers and have ICE knocking on my door.
He's got to go. I definitely don't want him at all.
yeah, but serious question, guys. Who would you rather have? Another Trump term? Or a fucking Marco Rubio, Pete Hegseth administration.
Oh, God.
I would rather have Trump. I'm not kidding.
You're all going to...
I don't know, bro. I don't want any of that.
I'm going to start a poll.
When I'm gone, you're all going to be broke. Your business model is going to be finished. No, it's true. When I'm not around, you're going to be broke. There's not going to be anybody to report on to show just how much I care about the press. And I want to save your ratings. I'm pleased to announce my intention to, and this is somewhat of a scoop, my intention to run for a 4th term as president of the United States. I will be doing that. I will be having an official.
So what was he actually the president while Biden was president? Do you think it was actually Trump? Why would he say a 4th term?
Because one of the elections he says was stolen and they have proof of it.
Yeah, but he wouldn't say term. He would say you would say term if you actually worked it, right? You actually were working.
He was working behind the scenes.
In fact, I think I have. Yeah. I won 3 times. Now I'm going to do it again. Thank you. I'm going to do it. Should be easy. I'm getting very good at running for president. No, I won 3 times. Did very well the 2nd time, by the way. It's a rigged election, but we don't have to talk about it.
Guys, so weird.
Didn't they investigate and they found out that a lot of those machines were rigged though, and a lot of those counts were off?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It was. Yo, I'll never forget too. Is this a topic we're allowed to talk about on YouTube? I don't even know anymore. I know there's certain things we're not.
What's the topic?
The 2020 election.
No,
we're not allowed to talk about it.
Not if you want the stream to be pushed.
Really?
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. All right. All I'm gonna say is
you don't talk about fixed things like that. Yeah.
All right. I'll save it for X.
I know there's a lot of.
Actually, no. I'll save it for my next Discord. If you sign up at clubvatra.com/RealBayes,
you go.
I'm doing Discord live streams where you guys get to share the stage with me and shoot the shit. Shout out to Scotty. He stole the show the other day. Yo, oh my God, you guys should have been there. You should have heard Scotty rant. This guy stole the show. But anyway, that's where I get into the stuff, or I'm going to get into the stuff that I'm not really allowed to talk about on YouTube.
And you get to hear Bayes say stuff like, and
and if you want to hear Triggersmart say that kind of stuff, you just got to wait for him to come on my stream. Just don't tell his fans.
Yeah, I'll put a banner for you.
Triggersmart, your fan base is going to see you on my show, and it's going to be like you shit on Candace Owens. They're going to call you a traitor. They're going to be like, what are you doing with that guy with that foul mouth? It's going to be like, actually, I'm not even going to say this one out loud, but there was somebody, one of the individuals that was on our poker night was catching a lot of hell in the comments for hanging out with us.
Who would that be?
I'm not going to say it out loud, but I'm sure you know.
Why? Or would they
because
catch
because we are a bunch of low IQ degenerates
No
that he
way.
should not have been hanging out with.
Okay, maybe we are. I was going to defend myself, but I think you're right. They chose Utah for this to happen. Bonnie might be right. There's a lot of strange.
Bro, stop reading mine. I still don't understand weight versus sufficiency. Thank you very much, Awakening. See, I'm paying attention now. Okay, buddy, slow your roll.
Winter Mute 6729. Thanks. 910. Grandma's in your inbox. X inbox. Okay. I'll take a look. Let me screenshot that so I can check it out.
I know I'm not low IQ. It was the wink joke.
Thank you, Winter Mute. I will look into that tonight. Julie, $9.99. I don't know if that I've ever been so frustrated in my life. I just want the truth for Charlie first and foremost, but also for the future of our country. If they get away with this, where will it stop? Julie. Very true. Look, I agree, man. I want truth too. Unfortunately, I'm going to be honest with you. We're never going to find out what actually happened. I really don't think we'll ever find out. We'll get close.
No. We're going to get to the bottom of it. Don't worry.
I hope so, but
I don't care if I have to work with Paramount Tactical. I'll find out what happened.
We'll never get an admission. We'll never get an admission saying, I really don't think we're going to get the truth like that. You know, like to satisfy everybody. What do you think? Anybody?
I think it's JFK 2.0.
Now, Bayes, what'd you say earlier? You said something about Candace from me being on your stream. What was that?
Oh, I said that if your fans heard you the way you talk sometimes on my stream, that you'd be catching hell like you shit on Candace.
Oh, like I shit on Candace.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I just want to make sure you weren't saying I was shitting on Candace.
No, and nobody thought that. Everybody in my chat was saying we love you, Trigger, after that.
I did not pass excrement onto Candace Owens.
No excrement past me.
Now, just out of curiosity, Bayes.
I got him going.
So, well, you just mentioned Gary again, Paramount Tactical.
Yes.
So you did that back and forth with him for like what, 4 hours, 5 hours, or something crazy.
Yeah, 4 hours, 45 minutes.
So what did you get out of that? Like what's your takeaway from all that?
What was my takeaway from Paramount Tactical?
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I was actually talking to him today because he wants to have me back on and
Part
have
two?
it. No, he wants to moderate me debating somebody else. But I'm not
okay.
sure. There's still some things to be ironed out. I still got to talk to some people, decide if I'm going to do it. But see, the thing with Gary is all right, I'm going to spill the tea a little bit. So Gary seems to have a very, very personal grudge with Candace, Ian, and Baron. And he thinks that they have some confirmation bias, and that, all the people that believe the conspiracy theories have this like confirmation bias with the research that we do, and that we sensationalize certain things, and that we don't like stick to the facts. But my personal opinion is that some of the digs that have gone back and forth between him and them have, like struck certain nerves with him, where he doesn't always acknowledge his own personal bias. You know what I mean? So I'll be honest. When I went on that stream with him, he was hosting the stream, and I had made multiple videos and attacked him, and I called him a traitor on X. He called me a piece of shit. So, we had a conversation and we talked about having that debate in good faith and keeping it respectful. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, yo, this guy's going to pull some shit. You know what I mean? Like, I just in the beginning, I'm like, all right, if he does, he does, whatever. But I got to tell you, although I disagree with Gary on a whole lot of things, the one thing that I do have to say is that he's kept his word with me. He's been respectful with me. And that when I'm respectful to him, we can have debates and we can have discourse that doesn't have to get nasty. And, there's a lot of other allegations and things with him. And whatever. I've told him before, I'm like, listen, if you really want to prove you're not a Fed, and he'll be like, he's like, Bayes, I don't give a fuck if you think I'm, he really, I don't know. The guy stands by what he believes or claims to believe.
I'm muted. For people that don't know too, Gary's the reason why a lot of people who are looking into this investigation even got started, including myself. So at the very beginning, he was just looking for, I think the first thing I saw was the bulletproof. He thought he was wearing some kind of bulletproof armor, right? And he thought that maybe bounced off of it and went up into his neck. That's when I first saw him. And I think that video got 1.5 million views or something insane like that. And a lot of people have talked to him and been in contact with him since the beginning. And then at some point people say he shifted, but he's also got a lot of new information. So, and I know a lot of people on supposedly, I guess, our side of things. This is interesting too. A lot of people on our side of things who were like, oh, he faked it. 100% it's the mic. No, he got electrocuted. It was a drone, right? They're starting to shift more towards well, if there is evidence that says that it was the official narrative, then I'm open to it, but they got to show it. Right. So you see people are kind of getting much towards the center. Right. And then we just got to see that evidence and see what happens. So, I get where he's coming from. If he thinks he's legitimately, already made his decision based on that stuff from the official narrative, because he might have more information than what we've seen because he's friends with those people. He's friends with TPUSA and all of them. And he hangs out with them and wears suits with them and they have brunch together and shit. Right. so he's right there with them. So he may be privy to stuff that we have no idea exists. We don't know. But it's interesting. The fact that he's willing to have those conversations, you have to at least give him that. There's a lot of people who won't even waste the time, people trying to debate other people and they're just nope. And people on X have been doing spaces, at least for 8 or 9 months, these spaces where people just yell back and forth. They're so married to their theory that no matter what anyone else says, that they just fight back and forth. It's if you want to be entertained for hours and hours, that in a debate that never goes anywhere, just go to an X space anywhere and just listen in.
Yeah, no, those X spaces are they get pretty interesting. But one thing that I will say, I don't want to speak too much about private conversations or whatnot, but this is something that I'm he's talked about on his show plenty of times, I'm sure, is he says that the people on our side, the people that don't question the narrative, that he thinks that we would be a lot more credible if more of us owned up to our mistakes. He thinks that certain people occasionally get things wrong, and then instead of acknowledging it, that we just move on to the next thing.
What do you mean, on our side, us or them?
Yeah, no, us, people with the conspiracy, like for instance, the stock photo, that's a big one that, and I didn't even understand why he thought that one was such a big deal, because I saw it as a minor data point, and he thought that it was a massive deal. But or the alleged stock photo, because when the image of the gun first came out, and I told him when I was looking it up, it was saying it was a stock photo, and it was wrong. It turned out that it was the legitimate photo of the weapon, but it was the New York Post that had put out an article showing the picture of the gun, but it did not confirm that it was the gun. So what ended up happening was anybody that was using AI, because the source that it was referencing was not confirming that it was the gun, that the AI, I don't know if it's a hallucination or how you want to put it, would say that, it's not the real gun because it wasn't confirmed. So because of that, a lot of people that were doing research, myself included, were led to believe that it was a stock photo because we couldn't get confirmation. And that was the direction that the AI was leaning in.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Of course.
So then Gary, because this stuff, gets a little tense and they're going back and forth, and you got to understand, like things get very, very nasty on X both ways. I mean, you got Blake Neff using the word coon at Candace. You got people calling Gary a traitor. So like once things start getting personal, you don't want to acknowledge when the other side is right about something. And then some people may not want to admit that they're wrong, especially if they're getting constantly attacked. Like it makes the whole situation very, very messy. And that's why, even though I take a lot of heat and criticism for talking to people like Gary, I think that it's important that we just take a step back and just remind ourselves that we want the truth and we want justice. And the way I see it, everybody's going to show their colors in the end. Everybody's going to tell you who they are in the long run. And if you really want to find out who people are, the best way that you can is to interact with them and get to know them better.
When I always say truth is truth, regardless of the source. So there's been two things that I've had corrected by Gary and Rage Brownson that I looked into and verified, and they were correct. And I corrected the record. So, you have to be open to all information, not just information that confirms what you think already.
100%. I agree. I mean, no, for me, it's not about being right. It's about being correct. And it's not, I don't have any desire to be just right in my own mind. That doesn't nobody any good. It doesn't mean no good.
I mean, at the end, we didn't read this. What is this? G Cha Marie. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. Thanks. Maybe you should read these. Lance is a very masculine furry. Yes, he is. And a very creepy one at that. But one thing I want to say real quick before we keep going through these supers. At the end of the day, and I feel like it's not about being right or wrong. It's just about being on the right side of things in the end. Like if somehow it comes out that there really is a mountain of evidence, like if all of a sudden we get to trial and we start seeing like real evidence, the evidence that we would have hoped to have seen. Because Matt, I mean, you tell me, if you covered this for 5 days, and I know that you weren't just doing it for some kind of confirmation bias. You're one of the most objective people that I've ever met, especially when it comes to this stuff. So if you'd have seen like actual 4K image of Tyler Robinson, and the DNA evidence was a little less circumstantial, and it seemed a little bit more credible, and there wasn't a 223 round found on a separate roof, would your opinion publicly have shifted? Or your opinion overall have shifted on the story with who assassinated Charlie Kirk?
Yep. Right
Mine
away.
too. Mine too. And that's why I got so mad. It's because like all these months of them hyping this up, like it's an open and shut case, and you got all these people assuming his guilt, and then they brought what they did, and it's like this is it. It's
right.
like personally, I expected more. And it's just really disappointing. I would rather.
Go ahead.
All right, I'll just end it at this. I would rather have them presented the evidence for this to be an open and shut case and have to just make the video saying I was wrong and explain why I believe that what I did and how I changed my mind than to be in the position that I'm in right now.
Someone asked me real quick. I just want to cover this to make sure. Wright and Burton said, what two things did Gary from Paramount Tactical and Rachel Brownson bring to my attention that I had to correct? One was the fact that it was a stock image. That was the first thing.
And the car?
That's something that I believed as well. And I corrected that. The second thing was that the safety could not flip past the scope. And then they pointed out that obviously I already knew it was synthetic. I knew it was sporterized. I knew it was aftermarket parts. I knew it was switched over to a 30-06 barrel. So I knew all that stuff happened. So I also knew that there was other variations of safeties, but I didn't know there was one that you can flip up and down just on that same side. It doesn't have to go past the scope. And there's also low profile ones that can flip past the scope. So I had to correct that as well. So initially I was saying that that gun couldn't be fired in that position. And then after I saw all this stuff and verified it and saw the parts and the actual part numbers that you can order, I was like, oh yeah, okay. Well, it could be shot in that configuration. So that was the two things that I had to correct.
Yeah, there was another one too that I haven't gotten definitively confirmed, but if I do, or if somebody else can, please let me know so we could just clear that one up. Is the one with the multiple spoilers in the back of the car in the image of the garage? Because again, it was Rage Bronson who had posted that something with the cameras with like the fishbowl lens, that it could distort the image and that it could have made the bumper look, the front look a little bit different. And it could also have made the back look different, and why it would have looked like there was more spoilers. But again, that, as far as I'm concerned, is still a theory. I haven't had like definitive proof one way or the other.
On that same video, in that same time, though, there was also, remember when we first looked at it, and I think Baron covered this as well, was on the front there was no license plate, carrier thing and all that. But one of that crew on that side, on Gary's side, they did a video that if you go past that scene into the rest of the video, then you can see that, like, based on the way the camera was and the reflections of the sun and everything, as it starts to turn away and it starts to like almost leave off the camera edge, you can see the license plate cover. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you just take if you take a snapshot of anything, you can have confirmation bias in what you believe. You have to look at everything in its totality to make those decisions of what's actually going to be real or not real, right? At least as real as it can be. So that's why, like, we have to be really careful. If you have a certain theory or something you believe, so much so that you're pushing away everything else, you're doing a disservice to yourself and to Tyler Robinson and whatever else, even Charlie Kirk, right? But Tyler Robinson is guilty, he's guilty. That's just the way it is. So I'm open to anything, but like on my channel, I've always looked into everything. I had Al Geist on, I've had John Bray on, I've had a variety of different people that have completely different theories, and I want to look into everything. I want all the information.
What's with John Bray? You've had him on multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
You've just done the off script episode, which is great. What, from watching him and being and talking with him, and what is it about him? Are you attracted to his explanation, and what is it exactly? Is it the shape charge without a weapon, without a bullet or anything, or what is it? And do you identify with that?
So first I'll cover why I identify, and then also why I keep having him on. So I identify with it because, depending on several things, but based on a lot of things that we've seen leading up to this, including what Candace has shown and everything else, it seems like there are a lot of things in place that are questionable. They could lead that direction, right? Like the particles in the bottom of the car, the way the shirt moved, all the strange attention, and how many people changed hands putting the mic on, and just all that stuff, right? So all those things first. And then the reason why I keep having him back on is because I want to know how far he's gotten with his theory. Because there was one point where he said it was like the magnet that went up, it hit him. And I don't know if you guys have seen, but I did a whole video before I ever had John on, where I covered the whole mic theory before I even knew who was talking about it or what was going on. And I showed line of sight and all that stuff too, using I had like a rod that I stuck through my shirt, was doing all that stuff, just like he did. But the reason I keep having him on is because I want to know how far he's gotten with the theory. There were a couple of things that he told me initially, like that, the magnet going across. And I pointed out that the shirt folded over and the magnet, like it was behind it. It wasn't like gone. So I was like, well, if something happened to the mic, then why the hell, when it flipped back over, can you see the edge of the magnet on the white shirt? Clearly it's still there. And it's hooked to something, because the magnet's not just going to float on the surface of the shirt. So like stuff like that has made him have to keep digging deeper and finding more stuff. And then, initially when you said it was like the necklace that went up into the neck or whatever it was, and then people were looking at it, they're like, well, it looks like something blue, and it looks like it's rectangular. It doesn't look like
it was like a dark shaded, like it was like blackish blue,
So he went back and started digging into that, and then now he's saying, like it's the circuit board. So part of the reason is why I just like he seems like a cool dude. He seems very genuine and legitimate. He seems like he's truly doing this because he wants to help out and that kind of stuff. I don't think he's doing it to like grift or anything, as far as I can tell. I mean, I could be wrong, but he just seems like a genuine person. So in addition to that, the fact that I want to know where he's at with it. What is he tested? What's the new information? You know, all of that. And obviously, you know, Candace, I don't know what she thinks about him in general, but they're in communication. So, you know, she doesn't just talk to just anyone.
Yeah.
Is there something there? I don't know, but I find it interesting.
Isn't it amazing? And this is one of the most fascinating parts about this whole case and this whole investigation is that you have so many different people that see the same exact event, the same exact evidence, and they come to over a dozen different conclusions about how he was killed, who was involved, who wasn't involved, if there was a cover up, how there was a cover up, you know, like what's evidence, what's not evidence. You know what I mean? It's like we all seen the image, you know, of Charlie getting hit, and you have somebody like that's sure that it was a lapel mic, that's sure that it was a necklace, that's sure that he was shot in the neck, that's sure that it was the camera behind him, that's sure that the whole thing was staged and it was just
It was shot in the trunk and that. So many tears.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And the fact that, you know, our side, you know, the people that don't trust the narrative, like we have so much discourse on our side, like the people that don't believe the narrative, that don't believe Tyler Robinson did it. We have so many people disagreeing, you know, as far as whether it was this or whether it was that, you know, you can't be surprised when there are people out there that do think that he was shot with the 30-06, especially when there is a certain level of evidence.
We all believe at least one thing is the official narrative is not true.
Yes.
Tyler Robinson solely and by himself did not plan and kill Charlie Kirk on the shot from a 30-06 on the Low C Roof Center. Nope.
No.
Yeah.
Not going to sell that to me.
Yeah. Now we may find out that he did take the shot and he did kill him, but he didn't do this alone. There's no way he could set all this up on by himself, even if it's just Lance.
There's no way.
Right.
Allegedly.
No, definitely not. Not in my opinion.
But one thing I just want to say about this, because I know Danks looks like he's ready for bed. But the one thing I want to say about this is there's still people to this day in chat that say that it was like a laser beam from the moon that took out Charlie.
That was Gary's other theory. That was number 2.
I know, but check this out. And there's people that still say there was no blood, right? Like there's certain people who, for whatever reason, have held on to the things that they found in Daylight 1 and 2, and they have not evolved since then. And it makes our side, as they call it, look bad because you have some people that are, you know, spitting the same old stuff that's already been disproven. Like there's clearly blood. There's about 100 different pictures that have blood on the platform. There's blood on the ground. I saw one recently where there's actually drops of blood heading out to the cars to carry him out. There's pictures from Charles McClintock Wilson where you can see blood dripping down from Charlie as the security team is carrying him, right? There's definitely blood, but people still say there's no blood. So we need to move on from that. We need to move on to like what would be like phase 1 million by this point, where everyone needs to get on the same page of the stuff that's already been proven or disproven and keep moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, there was what's interesting though is I'll say because I had watched the footage back again recently, and it felt like there was more blood now in the footage than there was on day 1. Is that just? It's probably just my brain playing tricks on me. But
could you use Claude and search for unedited or unchanged videos from like day 1 or 2 versus now and actually compare them?
Obviously, probably could. Yeah, it would be a mission.
Yeah,
you'd have.
You know, one thing that I do want to add before we finish these supers and wrap it up, that regardless of what happened to Charlie Kirk that day and who was responsible, one thing that does not change is the way that it was handled, from UVU beforehand to the security team on the scene, to everything that Erika Kirk and TPUSA has done and said ever since. You know, because, you know, like I said earlier, even if Charlie survived, I think that seeing what Erika has done and what Andrew Colvett and Blake Neff and just the way that all this is played out, that it would have killed him. Because the 180 that TPUSA did between turning, you know, not supporting Thomas Massey, not speaking up for the release of the files, not speaking out against the war, not speaking out against a lot of the crap that we've seen, you know, doubling down on the support of our not so greatest ally when it's very, very clear, especially now after the most recent text messages that Candace Owens released, that he was stepping away, that he was backing off of the cause. And there has not been any acknowledgement about that. All they've done since day one is make excuses and toe the party line. You know, like when Charlie Kirk was running TPUSA, he was the influence. He had the power. And then when he got killed, it created this power vacuum in TPUSA. And, you know, it was the Republican Party that took that power. So instead of having Charlie Kirk, who was an influence on the Republican Party, you have the Republicans who are influencing TPUSA. And I find that to be disgraceful. And I think that Erika Kirk should be ashamed of herself and she should just step down already. Because every single day that she continues as CEO and that TPUSA continues in the position that they're in, that it's just shitting on Charlie's legacy more and more. And it doesn't matter how many times they roll her out on TV and try to like act like she's a star or she's a celebrity or, you know, prop her up. It still just shits on them even more.
Well, the other thing is she actually acknowledges that people don't identify with her. She said it in an interview. She said, I get it. People don't, you know, connect with me or whatever. She's like, I understand it. So she knows that's going on. So I don't know what their long-term plan is. You know, like even if she's not this evil, horrible, terrible person, people still don't identify with her. So what's their long-term plan for what they're going to do with TPUSA and the leadership? The other thing I want to say too is I can't say a lot about this, I guess, technically, but a lot of people, different people, like including you guys, have all talked to different sources. And we've told those sources we would keep them anonymous and protect our identity and that kind of stuff. And the information that they've told us, some tell us in confidence and we can't tell anyone else. So what you have is you have 100 different people that have, you know, possibly hundreds of different sources that aren't sharing information with each other because they've been asked not to, all trying to get to the finish line together. So it creates a lot of confusion because there may be something that Bayes knows, but he can't tell me because he promised the source he wouldn't, and vice versa. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, but I think if there was like anything mega serious, that would get tossed around to the right people. Don't you think?
There's a lot that's major serious that I've heard recently from many different people, and it's not being tossed around like that. It's not like, because there's certain, you have to protect the person. You have to protect their safety and everything. And there's people that are way too close to this that if they got exposed, then they're in danger.
Triggersmart, who have you been talking to?
I can't tell you.
About my sources and about my secrets.
Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
Wow, shots fired.
Where's she been? I thought you were gonna have her back on.
She's around.
Okay. Yeah, she's feisty. You two together, you know.
Yo, she's like a female version of me.
You guys should just start a show together.
Oh, I wish.
Have you asked?
No, she's got her own thing. She's got yeah. Shout out to Lala. Shout out to Carmen. New Black America.
That's what it was. New Black America. Yeah.
Anne Marie with the $20 banger. What's up, girl? She crocheted my baby boys. Oh, you laugh when I say stuff like that, man.
That's what I'm saying. You're blacker than everybody else.
I mean, I grew up. I was raised in Memphis, and I grew up around a lot of black people, and then kind of the culture up in the high school, and then I moved. When I was in San Diego, I was hanging out with street people. You know, it was just, then I was on the street, and that was different. But Anne Marie, what's up, guys? A bit late, but I'm here. Good to see you, girl. Welcome back. Good to see you. 6 months as a member. Wow. Time flies, huh? Sarah, the Turkey Tom stuff isn't new. No, definitely not. It's like brand old.
But on that though, a lot of old stuff is being recycled and it's being seen in different ways. New information is coming out from it. So it's still important to go back and look at all the early evidence.
Always, yeah, do that all the time.
You look at the the older stuff again, 10 months removed from the original situation, and you see things you didn't see, or we catch things, or it hits differently, or whatever. You know, you have to go back and look at history.
Jess Happy, $50, big super chat. Thank you very much. 3 guys right here. Really appreciate all of you. I especially love when Young B gets fired up. Got here late, but I'm glad I made it. Did I miss anything juicy? Christ is king indeed. No, I'm pretty sure you caught most of the juicy parts. Don't worry.
Thanks for the super. Big super from Anne Marie 50. This is for your wife. Thanks. Towards a Patty or Manny, whatever she wants before babykins arrives. That will help her relax. Thank you so much. Yeah, so we are expecting anywhere from the 5th to the 15th of August. So 10 days to 20 days. We got a baby boy on the way. Tomorrow, I'm taking my wife, pregnant, of course, my daughter. We're going to San Diego for a couple of days, go to the beach. Got us a hotel. So it'll be the last trip as a trio, spend time together. So this will be a great contribution. Thank you. Thank you. So that being said, I'll be gone until Wednesday, but I'll upload some clips and stuff. Thank you, Anne-Marie. Sarah Bell, 499. The Turkey Tom side of things in regard to Lance Twiggs was around shortly after Charlie Kirk. It's just now getting traction. Yeah.
Is that a repeat?
I think they just, same person there.
Okay.
Following up. But yeah, no, we're aware. Thank you, though.
Beanzo, $5, had to jump over from Danks to show Bays some love. Keep up the good work, guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Will be me forever. Do a Bing search with Copilot. Presidents for the last 40 years, it states Biden to 2021 to present. Donald needs to stop using Bing, or is Bing correct? Would explain a lot. Ha ha. Yeah, time shift. What are we, time shifting or what? You know, what do you guys think about like the CERN getting shut down? It's been getting a lot of traction lately, like time shifting and
The
you guys
Mandela
believe
effect
in
changing. Yeah.
You think that we're living in some kind of weird matrix glitch type of thing?
I think it would be a lot easier to move forward in time than back in time. I could be wrong, though. I don't know. Like, I do believe that you can move forward in time, but I don't know if you can go backwards.
Yeah, I think it's been proven you can go forward in time, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And if you want to know, like, basically, the faster you go around, like when you get out into the atmosphere above Earth, out of the Earth's atmosphere, I guess, and you go fast, I guess the faster you go, and I don't know, maybe I should just stop talking. The faster you go, the faster you go ahead of the, I don't know, whatever. Anyways. Earl's daughter. I came across a young attorney, Nick Brooks, covering the Charlie Kirk case, first balanced, then started addressing Candace Owens' claims was slop. Interesting, his law degree is from Rutgers. Lance Twiggs is Rutgers Sweats. Oh, Rutgers Sweats. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be all kinds of people covering the case. You know what I mean? So I've seen some interesting people with degrees or saying they're lawyers. And
Cassidy Creations, $5. Thank you very much. Cassidy's one of my day ones. Thoughts on Barron's response to SC about CK sending a dead man switch to CO? He basically said it didn't help. Who's SC?
He was talking about the dead man switch to I thought they were talking about Andrew Tate and all that, or no, that was a different situation. It's SC. I don't know who SC is.
Snapchat or Super Chat.
Oh, to a SC. All right, response to a super chat. Good, good thing you're here.
About Charlie Kirk sending a dead man switch to Candace Owens. He basically said it didn't help.
But if he did, wouldn't that have come out right away?
Yeah, I mean, if there was a dead man switch with info, we'd have it already, no?
I would hope
Or
so.
is that why they keep saying, wait till Candace Owens comes back? Well, she's back, right? So
Well,
what
she's been hanging on to a lot of stuff, and she holds back a lot of stuff that she wants to let out because it's not the right time yet.
I'd be curious what she's got held back. That's for sure. That's what I want to see. I think we all do, right? Renee, 1999, big super chat, 1122 on 723. Andrew Colvett posts, if using the N-word is a crime, then every rap song and every cookout at a black family's home is illegal. Or is this just more anti-white justice? Not from Renee in Pink, but she has a great name. I mean, yeah, I hear you. I think that's just stupid. I think that the N-word blacks, they get the right to say it. It's not, I don't know. That's just how it's been. I guess it's. I think like that we've spent way too much time and energy worrying about the N word. I'll tell you that for sure.
I don't know.
I don't think it should be used.
I don't really.
It was slander against slaves, and if they.
Now remember, this is coming from a guy that told me earlier on the stream to pick cotton. Don't forget about that, and make sure you clip that. I'm not kidding.
I didn't. You're putting words in my mouth.
I know. I don't spend any time thinking about the N word, but also because I haven't even had any time to listen to music in the past couple months.
I know.
All I do is all I do is read.
Yes, master. Yes, master. Thanks for the super chat, Renee. $5. We love Trigger. $10.
Madeline is the New York Post reputable. I don't think reputable. Reputable. Listen, bro, same thing. I have an old screenshot of an article from them stating some of the text messages, Tyler and Lance, were at 2:55 p.m. and fewer than 3 hours from the shooting. Well, I don't think that any mainstream media source is that reputable. Did I say it right that time? All right, good.
Decent. That'll score like a 6 point.
My enunciation sucks.
I mean, I think that's I remember something like that as well. I mean, they're gonna have there are a lot of that sensationalistic type of journalism, right? So it's some of it's true, or a lot of it might be true, but it's got its twists and turns to it that make it like sensationalized. But yeah, there's a lot of discrepancies around the timing of things, the evidence itself, but particularly timing for sure. Thanks for the super chat, Mike Anderson. Join us Saturday mornings, members only live streams. Bays or yeah. Bays.
Oh, is that me? Oh, sorry. Will be me forever. They met online, then became roommates. That is some Moco Ultra Sun crap. Mortal Kombat Ultra. Let me again. Gary makes me think the power of the mic is a terrible thing to waste.
Power of the mic. Philippe, hero, boys. Why does Blake Bender and Kelly call Barron a plant fed on X Spaces? Are people really believing that poop? Bays, be careful. Gary want you. Yeah, Blake and them, yeah. Blake definitely be calling everybody a fed.
Yo, listen. I've told the story a million times. I had Kelly call me one time saying that Blake was breaking her balls wanting to see our DMs because he thought I was a fed. And then me and Kelly called Blake on three-way and I confronted him about it. And then Blake said that Kelly was a fed to me on the call with her. That was the famous when he had that video that he didn't want to release like forever. He was holding on to it forever. And he's like, hey, you guys tell your handlers, I want $100,000 in unmarked bills and you can have it. He's like, but I also want assurances and you'll never see me again. Yeah. Now he tries to say that he was joking, but he was not joking. I can promise you.
He was not.
Shout out
to
Blake.
He gets hyped up.
I love Blake. I do. I know I can't shit for saying it, but I can never dislike Blake. As long as he's talking to the ladies with respect.
Yeah. It's you.
Oh. Ferns, why fall to left when hit on the left? Equals opposite. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
I've been seeing people saying, like, especially Barron again, and shout out to Barron for all the work, but he mentions that 2,000 pounds of energy being thrusted into his body, and he just kind of
like jerks up and then flops. It's weird.
That's just I don't like, it doesn't make sense to me. Renee V01818, $20. Thank you. I agree with Andrew posted that the day after the comment from Blake. It seemed like Andrew was trying to get ahead of the racist anger towards Blake. Just weird. They do work like a little posse, don't they? They're strange, bro. Like Charlie Kirk, he's probably turning over in his grave. Imagine these are the people running his studio, running his business. look at the way they're acting. They're freaking children. They're dumb kids, bro.
Yeah, but not
Where's
consider
the
this.
politics? Where's the real debate? Where's the honesty? Where's the transparency? Where's the truth? Where's the debates? Where's the research? Where's the care for the people that are supporting them? I just don't get it, man.
Yeah, but look at Charlie. He knew these people. He was married to one. He was supposedly friends or acquaintances or whatever, and business partners with the other ones. They did the show together. He was around them for years. He hired these people, all around him. So are you telling me that Charlie had no idea that any of these people were like this at all? I don't buy that. So
I don't know. Maybe people change. Once he's gone, maybe he doesn't see that side of them.
No. I don't buy that either. Listen, none of these guys were smarter than Charlie. Like even the shit with Erika. Like Erika couldn't fool us for a freaking week. You think he fooled Charlie for years? You know what I mean? Like, come on. Listen, you see guys like Andrew Colvett, Tyler Boyer, Blake Neff. Like you think that these guys are getting shit past Charlie? You know what I mean? Like that's why I don't believe that they were involved in a conspiracy to actually, off him. Like he would have seen that coming. Like he knew exactly what to watch out for with these people. He kept them in their place. And this going back to what I said earlier, Charlie had the power. He was the influence. When it came to all these scumbags, he had them in check. He kept them in control. Once he was gone, none of them were going to actually take the power. Andrew Colvette's just happy to be sitting in his chair. Blake Neff's just happy that people know his name. Erika Kirk is, I don't know what she has to be happy about these days. She's got a lot of money. She's got a lot of nice jewelry. Like maybe that's enough. Like maybe every time she gets upset and like goes online and sees how the public feels about her, she just goes out and buys something with, all this money that she's come into. Who knows? I don't know. But
one thing about this too, she's in a very unique situation, and so was Charlie. It's not very often that people have so much power. We're talking about extreme amounts of power, not just in politics, but also in religion at the same time. Think about that.
Yeah, Erika doesn't have the power. Erika has the same title as Charlie.
And TPUSA faith.
She has the title. Yo, Erika couldn't even keep what was the college? Was it Georgia University?
You're talking about a person. You're talking about a person. I'm talking about the whole network of hundreds of employees or thousands of employees across hundreds of churches across the entire country. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about.
But that's what I'm saying.
I'm not talking about Erika. Erika doesn't matter. She could leave today, and it wouldn't change what I'm talking about.
Oh no, you're talking about the power of being able to run TPUSA. No, whoever's actually making those
I'm talking about the power that TPUSA and TPUSA faith have over humanity in the United States and international. It seems like too in some cases. That's what I'm talking about.
No, but do you think that Erika herself is really making these decisions about what's happening going forward? Or do you think that maybe she's being influenced, or dare I say handled?
It's a good question.
You think she's being handled?
Especially if she wasn't involved in Charlie's murder and she actually thinks like, oh shit, what if they do? You know what I mean? Like if somebody did she say that she wanted to take over, or did somebody that she was afraid of say, hey, you know what? We want you to take over now.
I don't know. It feels very staged, obviously. Feels like they put her on there.
Staged. It does feel
Renee,
staged.
Charlie traveled over 300 days a year. Erika just had to fake it in a day or two at a time. Ooh.
That's a
hey,
good
baby,
point.
I love you. Why don't you come over here to the room real quick? Let me show you how much.
No, it's not fake it 2 days at a time, though, because you think if Charlie's on the road that he's not calling his wife every day and not on FaceTime.
Yeah,
you know,
video calls and all that.
It's easy to write off. You know,
I don't know. When you live that
he
kind
was
of
never
lifestyle,
home.
you live that kind of lifestyle, a lot of times, even if you have kids, you could probably get caught. And then regular all day, you don't go talking, maybe once in the morning, once at night.
Listen, you're going to know your spouse.
Yeah.
You're going to know who your spouse is.
Yeah, true. That's true. SW, $10. Hey, guys, is it possible that they are afraid for their own safety? Maybe they're all in something they can't get out of now. How else can you explain the blatant change stance of the company?
I think that's the case for a lot of them. Yeah. To some degree.
Yeah.
You know, did you guys see that audio recording that Mikey McCoy sent to that older woman? It was like creepy as hell.
Yeah.
No. What are you talking about?
I thought didn't I pull it up last week?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, I remember what you're talking about. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but why would they be in this situation? You know what I mean?
What do you mean? Why
like
if they were working at
got it,
TPUSA for all these years and then all of a sudden Charlie's dead and then they're going in a completely different direction. They have people from high up saying like, yeah, this
maybe
new game plan, guys. You know,
Charlie
we're not
Shield.
going to support. Yeah, we're not going to support Thomas Massey. We're going to support the other guy. We're not against the war with Iran anymore. Yeah. Remember we were talking about organizing all these young conservatives to talk about the Epstein files? Scratch that. And everyone's just like, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Here's your script. Read it. It's like, wait, this is you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I always end up back at Charlie Kirk, and it's like in any conversation. And at the end of the day, this is so frustrating to just be gaslit over and over and over again. That's why I'm here every day, day in and day out. People are in the chat, and like you guys said, I'm tired and sleep talking. Yeah, because I'm up early. I'm up at like 6:30, 7 o'clock, making content, researching, trying to, just like everybody else here. You know, we're all tired. You know, I'm dealing with a pregnant wife and a kid and another one on the way, you know, and it's so last minute, and cleaning and putting the room together and, you know, front yard, backyard, all kinds of stuff. And it's but I'm here though, full time, day in and day out. And that's because we want the truth. And yeah. So anyways, I think that's about it. I appreciate everyone being here. Matt, thank you for joining us tonight. Bayes, you already know. Who would be able to blow the whistle to? Who can they trust? All the authorities seem to be in on it. Yeah, that's the scary part, right? That's the scary part. It's like, who do you go to?
Yeah.
You can't go to anybody.
There's nobody to go to. There's literally nobody.
Who do you go to?
You know, that's the position.
Yeah.
But Matt, tell everybody where to find you.
Well, first of all, I think you should definitely, you know what I mean? No, it's Triggersmart on YouTube and Triggersmart HQ, because Triggersmart was already taken everywhere else, mostly on X, Spotify, YouTube, and I'm working on right now Instagram and TikTok, but I don't really like doing shorts. I like to have a lot more substance in the videos, and I don't feel like you can do that in like a minute and 30 seconds or 2 minutes. But yeah, that's me.
Oh, you wait till you see. I'm gonna tag you and collaborate with you. I'm gonna tag you and collaborate with you with what I clipped from you tonight and post it on Instagram, and it's gonna do really well.
Yeah, I might clip some of this for while I'm gone this week.
And speaking of, you guys can follow me on Instagram, on X at RealBayes. Subscribe if you haven't already. You know, Danks as well. He's building up his Instagram. He's already a celebrity on X.
I don't know about celebrity, but I'm just posting information. Follow me on X, Dankster Intel, on YouTube, Dankster Intel on Kick. We're live on Kick right now. We got 2 live Kick viewers. Come hang out sometime, and come over to Club Vatra. That's where we do the private Discord, and Jesse on Fire is there, Bayes is there, I'm there. We've got lots of others that are joining as well, and yeah, so come hang out at clubvatra.com, clubvatra.com. Thanks everyone, love you. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you next week. God bless. Follow everybody, and yeah, peace.
Have a good night, guys.
Cheers.